OMG. We are back with another Vibelytical pop-up show. I'm one of your hosts, Brandon, and that's Andre over there, y'all. Just in case you didn't know, for the new people who have not joined us before, we kind of don't put our names up there anymore. Oh, Andre, you froze for a second, but now you're back. Summer just felt like it flew by. Andre, you froze again. Lord.
I can see you perfectly fine though.
Okay, but like you like got stuck like that, and then it was like, I'm just kidding. Yes, Andre, it felt like the summer flew by. I was in Hawaii for like the beginning of fall, I guess. That was very nice. And I'm about to move to Hawaii, y'all. So we're gonna be 6 hours apart, and we got to figure this thing out so we can keep the show rocking to the beat, beat, beat. So, Andre, we haven't. It feels like we did like one or two shows in the summer, and that's about it. So we back, y'all.
Our
And
last
we missed
show.
y'all.
We did quite a few shows in the summer. We did a few shows in June and July, but August
Okay.
we only did one show, and then that was actually in August we didn't do any show. So just
Oh yeah,
because you was
yeah,
on.
pretty much I was gone the month of August. I don't know what my cats are doing, but they partying or chasing each other around. Yeah, so we're back. Let us know where you're watching from. Welcome to the Vibelytical pop-up number 11 or 12 or 13. We've done so many, but we are back. And I guess we ready to get the party started. A little bit of ground rules, not really, but just how we operate on the pop-ups. We generally don't have a topic to discuss. We kind of just talk about the latest matters, the latest goings on in the world, and whatever you would like us to discuss. We'd like to share a community voice. Oh, we got some comments. What's up, Miss Johnson? She's watching from Oklahoma. Oklahoma in the house. I'm in Maryland, and Andre is in Louisville. Louisville. That's how they say it, Louisville.
So you're just gonna throw it out there like that, Louisville?
Louisville. That's how they say it. But I said, where you at? So I guess I need to say where I'm at. I'm in middle of nowhere, Aberdeen. I'm in Aberdeen. Don't that sound like a grandmama name? What's your grandmama name? Her name Aberdeen. Aberdeen.
No, that's my girl Johnson. She was the EOA and helped us out with the CST.
Yes, I remember you telling me that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
She actually has been asking about the show, like she missed us. So I was like, girl, we'll be back eventually, girl. We'll be back. But it's good to see her on.
Yes. Thank you for joining us tonight. I guess, Andre, you got anything else before we do our little intermission real quick and then come right back?
You didn't ask how I was doing, but it's okay.
Huh?
You didn't ask how I was doing.
How you doing? Well, I did ask about your summer. I did, didn't I?
Mm-mm.
We a little out of practice, y'all. How you doing? I'm a little out of practice. How you doing?
I'm good. I had a long week at work, but glad that we have a 4-day coming up. I am in the process of finalizing like what I'm going to be wearing because my birthday is this month, so I'm going to be celebrating that. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Just I started a command climate survey for Cadet Command, so that's been a beast having to send emails out to them. But work has been good. My coworkers are gonna miss me because they acting like they gonna have anxiety when I leave. But I'm sorry, I'm leaving. It's time to go. But I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing good. Other than that, just I guess my focus is just on me right now, so I'm not really focused on anybody else right now. Yeah. And of course, my friends. I will always be, that supportive friend and loving friend and take care of folks. But as far as me and my life, I'm just concerned about myself right now. So that's where I'm at. So yeah,
I love it. You know what's crazy? I didn't really say how I was doing either. I just said the summer went by fast. I was in Hawaii for like the whole month of August. I'm moving there, and this is the fastest PCS I've ever had to do. So it's a little bit overwhelming, but we get it done over here. We get it done. I have a love interest, and if anybody's on my social media, then you know. Um, so that's going well, and I hope that it continues, and I believe it will. And we got plans, and we went to a beautiful wedding in New York in Poughkeepsie, which I've never been to. So a lot of times people think of New York and they think of like the city and all this stuff, but actually New York is really beautiful, and there are other parts, that are not Manhattan and Times Square. That's what's called, right? Times Square. Yeah, there's other places in New York that are very beautiful. So this was in Poughkeepsie. I forget. I think it's northern part of New York, something like that. I didn't, I'm not a geography major, so I don't remember quite where it's at. I just remember we had a good time. The wedding was on the Hudson River. It was like beautiful day there. We took some good pictures. I took advantage. So if you seen my social media, then you seen it. Some of the pictures from the wedding. And I tried to like capture the moment and use all my gadgets, like I got all these gadgets. I'm like, I need to use them to capture memories and stuff. So
They were lovely
I
pictures.
huh?
They were lovely pictures. Very
Thank
lovely.
you. Thank you. So I guess we're gonna hit y'all with the countdown, then our music, and then we'll be right back. During this time, I want to give y'all some instructions, you know, if you so care to do so. If it's safe, remember that? If it's safe. So what I would like for everyone to do is give us a like, heart, or whatever emoji, a laugh emoji, or angry emoji if you want to give that one too. So give us an emoji. Then also share this site wherever you're watching from, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Share it on your social media, so we can continue to grow the channel. And once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll be right back. And we're back. So, Andre, you hit on something. I don't know if you had a direction of where we was going to go, but it just feels like a perfect arena. So you talked about being focused on yourself during this time. And like, what does that look like? What does that mean? How can that, how's that edifying to you? Those are just some questions to get the dialogue rolling.
That's a good question. So some of y'all may know, some of y'all may not know, but December of last year, um, I deleted all of my dating apps. So the Tinders, the Bumbles, and even the Grinder, which is for gay people. I deleted those dating apps. And what I decided to do was say, you know what? I'm gonna delete these apps and focus on me, because throughout my life, I have devoted my time to satisfying the next person and look and making sure that other people are good. And I'm really more speaking in reference to guys that I'm attracted to, emotionally, sexually, and everything. I'm automatically going to give myself to my friends. My friends are going to always come first. But when it comes to my love life, I was doing the same thing, and I was seeking the things that I was seeking, I was not giving myself. So I was seeking love and care and all that in the wrong places.
Mm,
And one of my biggest things that I've learned in this journey of not having any apps is I need to love on myself before I open myself up to somebody else, because someone
mm,
else can't give me that fulfillment. I have to give
mm,
myself that fulfillment, and then I'm able to be with someone else and enhance my life that way. People in
mm,
my life, or people in anyone's life, should be an enhancement to who they are. And I think for me, that's what I'm doing. I'm on the journey of loving on me, I'm not dating. I'm not actively seeking anyone. And Brandon knows this. I've had long talks with Brandon and all my other close friends that I am not looking for. I'm not actively seeking anybody. And it'll be a year in December that I have not been on any dating apps. And I honestly, and I mean, I can't even believe I'm saying this, but I don't think I'll really ever open them again. I don't think that the more that I'm not on Tinder and Bumble and Grindr and all that, the more I'm just like, I'm just not, I'm not
Hmm.
thinking about it. Oh, I have a question on YouTube. Andre, what
Oh,
does,
that's me.
oh,
That
that's
was just,
you?
I
Oh,
was just,
somebody on
posting what
YouTube?
we.
Oh, okay. I was like, somebody on YouTube asking me a question? But yeah, because we're on multiple platforms right now, you all. So like we're on
Hmm.
Live, Facebook Live, Twitch. We on all of them.
Hmm.
So the question is, what does it mean to focus on yourself? So what I
Hmm.
feel that it means, because I'm only going to go off of my experiences and what I'm doing, is that focusing on myself is looking inward, self-reflection. I feel that when I'm focusing on myself, I am doing a self-reflection. I am doing a daily self-reflection on what I like, what I enjoy, what I value, and putting myself first. Um,
Hmm.
and that's what I believe focusing on yourself is doing a honest self-evaluation and an honest self-reflection. And that's what I've been doing for almost a year now, and it's been such a beautiful ride, because I'm like, wow, I'm now understanding, like I'm liking things I didn't even realize I liked before. Keith said
Right.
delete my dating apps, also got too busy. Keith, I would hope you deleted your dating apps being married to Starsha. Absolutely, absolutely, Keith. I don't know what Keith is talking about, but anyway,
Did you just come for him?
I just came for Keith, but Keith knows I'm joking. But yeah, but for me, focusing on myself is doing that honest self-reflection and looking inward and realizing the things that I enjoy. Um, and during my journey of self-reflection and focusing on myself, I realized that I like to go hiking. Something as simple as that. Something as simple as him,
Yeah.
as hiking. So Starsha says, ignore him. See what I'm saying? I ain't know Starsha was online, honey. I thought it was just, I'm like, excuse me? You should be on nobody's date now. But okay, I'm gonna mind my business. Okay, I'm gonna mind my business. Okay, because I'm like, what is going on right
Hmm.
now? But yeah, so my focusing on myself, like I said, is that self-reflection. And I have
Yeah.
been enjoying the ride. It has had its ups and downs,
Yeah.
emotionally, because honestly, it's tough. It's tough to just sit with yourself. I mean, sitting with yourself is just one of those things that I never have done before. I focused my attention on so many other people, but didn't focus on what Andre likes. Keith says I was just making sure she was paying attention. Okay, Keith, because I don't need no fight to break out. On the show because I'm trying to be. But yeah,
We trying to get them ratings, y'all.
right. We're trying to get the ratings up there. Y'all helping. Y'all helping with the ratings, okay? Y'all helping with the views. But yeah, so I think that's what it means for me focusing on myself. And I'm still on that
Right.
journey. Like I said, I don't see myself uploading the apps anymore. I feel like I
Hmm.
want to be able to organically meet my next partner if that's in the horizon for me. And what I mean by organically is like if I'm out at a bar or if I'm at the grocery store, at the mall, or if it's by a friend connecting me with someone. And speaking
Yeah.
of connecting, y'all, my bestie Stella has connected me with someone. Um, but I told her that I'm not actively looking. So, if me and him can be friends, I'm open to being friends with that individual. And if something comes out of it, fine. But I'm not actively looking. But I'm not going to turn away. Like if let's say Brandon sees a guy that he thinks I might like, I'm not gonna be like, oh Brandon, get out my face. I'm not focusing on. I ain't gonna do Brandon like that. If Brandon sees a guy that's a good fit for me, I'm open to meeting them. I'm just not actively looking at. I don't know if I'll ever get back to actively looking. And I hate to sound like a Debbie Downer, but I don't know. I don't know. But as of right now, I'm focusing on me and loving on me, and I'm loving every minute of it. So,
And that's good. And I think it's important to, like, in focusing on self, you know, moving it right along, focusing on self. Bam, it's on the screen. Y'all can see it. In focusing on self, I think it's important to be authentic. Like, so much of our lives from when we're born, in EO school, we learn about the socialization process, right? So much of us is things that we did not decide. From boys wear blue, girls wear pink. That's just on the basic things of how things are. Men do these type of jobs, women do these types of jobs. So a lot of it is reprogramming yourself, and I don't think that you necessarily have to actually look for love. I think love can find you, and I think I think the older I get, the more I'm learning to not have expectations of people, other than the basic ones. Right? Everyone deserves to be respected. Everyone deserves dignity, but I also learn at this point in my life, I don't need everyone's respect. Some people are just not going to give it, but they don't have any self-respect. So how could they give someone else respect? They need to listen to more Aretha Franklin so they can get their RESPECT
boom,
and find out what it means to me.
boom.
Boop. But yeah, I think it is excellent that you are on your path and proud of it. Cause I think, it's funny because after I got divorced, my dad was like, my parents were like, you better not be on them apps. I was on every app. Every app. So the person I'm seeing right now his name is Kevin. Right. And so when how I met Kevin was hashtag Tinder. Anybody on Tinder? Can I get a holler if you on Tinder? Tinder. Can I get an amen? I'm kidding. So I was on Tinder, right? And I don't look, yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I'll leave Tinder on the screen. Now I have matched with a ton of people on there, a lot. But it was like, nobody said anything. The general hi, how are you kind of thing, and then everything died. And so I was in Hawaii. That's when I was there, the 12th through the 16th. Thanks, Keith, from the balcony.
I hope he's not saying amen to having a Tinder. That's what I hope
I
he's
know,
not.
right? He's
Okay.
not. Y'all hear my cats? I'm sorry. They love to, you know, talk and stuff. So I was on Tinder and I matched with all these people, but it was just the general, hey, how you doing kind of thing. And then nothing. So I scrolled back through like all these matches and I used to delete a lot. After, a certain amount of time, we ain't talking. We're probably not going to meet, delete, right? Not going to meet, delete. I scrolled back through. This is when I was in Hawaii in July. Remember I went in July and I saw Kevin and I was like, oh, he's good looking. So we started texting back and forth again. And then I was like, do you want to go on a date? Because on his dating profile, I'm putting all his business out there. On his dating profile, it said, what did it say? Basically, like, only match with me if you're serious about actually dating. And so that's why I messaged him again. And I checked out his profile. And then we went on dates and stuff. And we just had all the proper conversations, from monogamy to money to all the stuff you should talk about in dating somebody, because I ain't trying to date nobody just to date. I am a man after the Most High. So I'm not just trying to date just to date. I want to find that one special person to be that special cheerleader to me, and I'm that cheerleader to them. And we, build a healthy foundation, and then a healthy marriage, and then a community, and all that stuff. So, yeah, I'm not dating just to date, and I ain't on the apps either no more, because I found a reason to get off it. And yes, we will have to do the long distance thing, but I think, okay, another plug I gotta give. And I think we should show this video called How to Know Yourself from the School of Life. So one thing that's mad important. Thank you for not leaving me hanging.
He's acting up tonight. Starsha gonna fight him. It's gonna happen after the show's over. But okay. And
Miss Johnson said, yes, Lord.
She said, yes, Lord Johnson. Yeah.
So yeah, like, what was I talking about? Where was I going with that? Oh, School of Life. So one of the things that's really important for the single folks out there, we want to talk to y'all. And not just for the single folks, but for the married folks too. What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that?
Attachment style.
Yes. So Kevin made me learn. So I learned, like, I feel that it's kind of crazy, things like ebb and flow with me. And the last few months, I've been feeling this. How would I describe it? Like finding reasons to love humanity, while the rest of the world is finding reasons to hate. And like, oh, you're a Republican, oh, you a Democrat, oh, you this, oh, you black, oh, you white, oh, you know what I mean? While they're finding all, while people are like nitpicking and all this stuff on not loving their family and all this stuff, I'm like, let me find reasons to love humanity more. And one of the things I found out along that journey is how important attachment styles are, and how our attachment styles and relationships. For example, like if somebody, if you get to the vulnerability stage and someone is starting to avoid you, like that is an avoidant attachment style. If they only respond to like certain things, or then there's like the secure attachment style, which is oftentimes when somebody doesn't need a relationship but they want one. And then there's the anxious attachment style, when someone is just anxious. Maybe they had traumatic experiences, or this probably could be known as like baggage. And there's one other one. What's the other one? Do y'all know? One other one.
I thought you
It's
was going
more.
to show the video so we could see, because we don't know. You talk about it.
Oh, you want to
I thought you was going to pull it up so we can see.
fearful, avoidant, secure, and anxious. But I do want to show that one. But I think we should show how. I already have how to know yourself pulled up, because you kind of talked about. I feel like self-care and how do you take care of yourself kind of goes with that video, and it's about 5 minutes long. So
Okay.
we'll show that video. And the School of Life YouTube channel has videos anywhere from 5 minutes, usually 5 to 10 minutes. Sometimes they're a little longer, but it's just, if you have a few minutes a day just to like, figure things out. And it has this excellent way of presenting the information in a way that, is easy to understand. And it's not like giving you all the answers. It's just giving you new ways to think about things that you may have not heard in such a way before. For example, with the attachment style, a lot of times, well, one of the things that the channel talks about is a lot about relationships, and how our view of relationships is based on us getting our needs met when we were children. So when we were a child, we didn't really have to communicate to get our needs met. We didn't have to talk. We didn't have to dialogue. We just cried, and they're like, oh, biologically, it's nap time. Or, oh, the child is hungry. It's been, like, the parent thinks it's been this many hours since you ate. When you get to so a lot of and a lot of people had bad parents, and a lot of people had good parents. I'm just, we keep it real on this show. And so some of what the dysfunction that we now experience as adults when we try to have relationships, and where our attachment styles are impacted, are generally speaking from childhood. And this is something I was thinking about today. In the world, we have compassion for children, so-called. We should have compassion for children, but why don't we have that same compassion for adults? Why is it like in America, I feel that it is my perception that in America, it's kind of like adults, you on your own. And if you homeless, you poor, you strung out, like you don't deserve no help, you should have blah, blah, blah. But for a child, it's like we have this, y'all be nice.
I mean,
You
I
hear me?
heard that.
See, be nice, y'all. Okay, so it's like we have this idea that we should, and don't get me wrong, I'm not comparing the two. I'm saying that humans, I'm trying to love all humans and extend that grace as a believer in the Most High to every human. And the way to do that, I think, is to seek understanding. So what School of Life does is there's all these videos on there that help you seek to understand yourself better and other people. Dang, I said that, didn't I?
You did. I mean, I don't even know what to say after that.
And so it's interesting that, like, and it's interesting that even in Andre and I's friendship, like, we accept each other's paths, and that's what people when you love someone, that's what you're supposed to do. Like let somebody be authentically themselves and edify them in that.
Keith makes an interesting point. Children have potential and can be anything at that moment. That's your chance to get to them before they become an adult and dead inside.
Mm. So, Keith, that is a good comment. And my question to you is, do you think that when someone is an adult that they're like, this is what I thought of. Like, is an adult unsalvageable? Is that a good word? Is that even an English word? But you know what I mean by context.
Or are stuck in their ways. One of the more simpler terms. When they become an adult,
Yeah.
they become stuck in their ways, where children are more tangible and more like sponges.
I can agree with that, and my head, there's all this Bible verses up in here, where it talks about those those who want to inherit the kingdom. What
Yeah.
did the Most High tell us to become like? A child. So I agree with you there, but I think as yes, here we go.
Significant emotional event moment can change someone.
Definitely. Okay, let me talk about let me talk about this moment.
Which is like the sponge thing, right? Though, because if you're a child and you experiencing something, that significant emotional event as a child can manifest itself and
Yes,
as an adult and stay
yes,
with you as an adult.
and that's what I'm getting at. And I think, if we viewed, so what I'm proposing is, what I'm challenging is that we view these adults as children who along the way were harmed. And if we do that, I think we would be able to have more compassion. And let me share a significant emotional event, something that I saw with my own eyes. Okay, so one day
Well, Keith
I
answered your
was,
question. You wanna put Keith's answer?
oh, go ahead.
He answered your question and said, in most cases, for adults, change slowly fades towards end of January when their New Year's resolution comes to an end.
Hey, and I think so. The angle, I appreciate, Keith, your dialogue that you're bringing in, and I think I'm sort of attacking it from a different angle because I was just, I guess, focusing on the negative, focusing on the people who need that compassion, right? Because usually when we have compassion for children, it's the situation they're in, but we don't have that same compassion for adults. Not in America, not how I feel. It's not my perception that we have that same compassion for adults. So I'm trying to figure out, how do we have the same compassion for adults? And I think that as a believer in the Most High, what motivates me is the fact that Yahusha died for everyone. And so I'm trying to keep, a balance while the rest of the world, is vaccinated against unvaccinated. It's black against white in America. It always has been, may always will be. But me as a believer, I'm not of this world. I'm separate, and I need to have a pure heart towards humanity. This also affects how I approach dating, even. Like maybe somebody is not the one, but that doesn't mean that I can't utilize my spiritual gifts or my insight to try to help them through something, even if that means,
Deuces.
even if it means that, right? Like, and so I guess I just see, people need help. And the significant emotional event. Okay, so Shay, this was when I was still married to Shay. We were in Atlanta. We wanted ice cream, so we went to Cold Stone Creamery. When we were on the way in, there was a homeless guy sitting down outside of Little Caesars, and we were talking about wanting ice cream as we were walking in, and basically Shay was like, I'll give you some cash if you're still here on the way out. I don't think he had cash at the time or something. I don't know, but he was still there, so Shay gave him some money, and Shay said to him, he was like, whatever the reason is you're out here, I'm praying for you, and I think he asked him why he was out there or something like that. And then I forget the exact words, but I will never forget how I felt. And so then he says to the man, um, whatever he said, like, think about the reason that you're out here and find that, or something. I'm praying for you, something like that. So then I'm a gentleman, so I always open my partner's door. So I opened Shay's door. He got in, and when I'm walking around the car, I heard the guy say, "I think about it every day." And when I got in the car, like I cried. Like when we drove out, I cried, and I told Shay, and I was like, "That's what it is right there." taking a moment to restore dignity. Not only did you meet the need of the person, but you spoke to the spirit of the person, restoring humanity and dignity to the person, which let me know that at certain times he had the capability to show empathy.
At times. Mhm.
At times, yes.
So Keith says this pandemic has ended all faith for me that I had left in humanity. Compassion is dead in adults.
Not in me, Keith.
Not a,
And
well.
I,
I was. Oh, go ahead.
you go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I don't want to generalize that because I still have my compassion.
Mm-hmm,
Because I feel that in my friend circle, there are friends that I have that still have held on to their compassion because of the pandemic and because they've been giving back, kind of like what your ex did, Brandon,
mm-hmm,
with the humanity piece of it. But
mm-hmm,
I will say, in some cases, yes, compassion has died
mm-hmm,
because people are out for self and not thinking about the next person. I mean,
mm-hmm.
just think about the whole thing with the toilet paper. Like there was
Mm,
no toilet paper on the shelves. So that's selfish. We're in a pandemic and you're just gonna have your whole garage full of toilet paper, but there's someone that needs toilet paper, they ain't got none. So things like that. So I get what you're saying, Keith, but I don't want to generalize. And I mean
yeah.
that's kind of what we were taught in EO is to not generalize things. So I think
Yep.
that's why I've gotten better with not generalizing. I say most cases or in a lot
Mm-hmm.
of cases instead of just saying, well, compassion is dead in adults, because honey, I
Yeah.
still got my compassion. I'm still,
Yeah.
I'm still very compassionate.
Yeah.
Uh, Johnson says, "Not in me. I feel like the more we show compassion, people, it can be relearned."
Yep. I agree. And I think that's why it's important why we even talking about this. And I think it's important to maintain that piece of you, or else you become like them. You're gonna be the person buying up all the toilet paper. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but let's just be. I love to be honest, and I think the truth is always something positive. But it's only going to get worse, and the scriptures told us that. I'm not some end of times prepper or whatever, but I do know spiritually what time it is. And the scriptures over in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John said, in the end times, the love of many shall wax cold. And we do see that. Like I literally saw a news report of a brother killing his other brother. And you know why they did it?
Well,
Because one was an anti-vaxxer. So the anti-vaxxer brother killed the other brother over the vaccine. So yes, there in a lot of ways, there's truth to what Keith is saying, but at the
there is.
same time, I think we should focus on the people that we can help. And I agree with Miss Johnson that, hey, we have the power to Hi. We have the power to help restore that humanity. And it's just going to be if we start looking at stuff like this is my community, I think we'll have a different outcome and a different attitude towards it as well. One that we can maintain,
Yeah,
you
and
know?
I wish you would have attended the game changer training,
Hmm.
Brandon, because what you kind of said fell along with what we learned in game changer training is you can affect change within your footprint, within the
Yeah.
people that you interact with, and the people that you have around you. You can be that game changer. So, like, even if
Hmm.
we can't change society, we can't change the government. That none of
Hmm.
that stuff can change because that's bigger than us, but you can affect change within the area that you're in, within your footprint and within your realm of control. You can
Yeah.
make change. And that's what I'm doing.
Yep.
I'm doing that. I am going to
Yep.
be affecting change within the capacity that I have control in, because that's where I have the most influence. I have the most influence on the people that are in my circle. People outside of my circle, if I interact with them and I can affect change, sure, absolutely. But I want to be that positive influence for the folks that know me and have been around me.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And I
I
think
see.
that's one of the
Oh, my bestie Georgie's on. Hey, bestie.
what's up, Georgie?
Keith says, I know we can generalize, but god dang, there's people out there making it sound like us versus them for no reason, just like that anti-vax murder deal you just mentioned. And I'm
Yeah.
with you, Keith. I'm not disagreeing with you at all, Keith, and we're not disagreeing with you. It's just that it's very easy for us to generalize things when that's really not the entire case. There's so many, kind of like what we discussed in the past episodes, where there's the bad stuff is being publicized and on the media, but there's so much good happening that goes unreported. So that's
Yeah.
it. Kind of goes to that narrative, if that makes sense, Keith. Because there's a bunch
Yeah.
of good stuff happening. There's a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of charity work. I mean, there's this, people are putting money into stuff. Like, there's a lot of good stuff going on. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, I'm not going to sit here and deny what you're saying, Keith, because yes, there's folks out here murdering folks for just because of vaccines. Like,
Yeah.
Keith says, "Good news don't generate views or clicks." Yes, that's what I mean. It
Mm-hmm.
goes unnoticed on purpose. If it's a good deed, hey, we ain't got time to report that good stuff. We only gonna report the mess. That's what we're gonna
Yeah.
report. Mhm.
Speaking of which, and we're on the platform, so we ain't gonna, you know, dog them too much. But if
Ooh,
y'all, any of y'all heard that whistleblower uh
ooh,
testimony,
ooh, ooh.
so Facebook basically showing you things that knowingly make you angry, that would make you partake, which makes sense. Ooh, I'm about to come for him. I'm sorry. And it's not that them, we're not that we are politically agnostic on this channel, so anybody can get it. But let's just face it. That's why, in my opinion, after hearing this whistleblower, whether she did it with good intentions or not, we got the information now. We know what Facebook is doing. I'm not saying I trust her testimony. I'm not saying I don't trust it. I'm not saying I trust her motives. I'm not saying I don't trust her motives, but we do know that Facebook is showing you things that make you angry, which would make sense on why, who are the number one people being promoted on Facebook? What party do they belong to?
We're gonna get blank. We're gonna get banned from doing lives if I answer that question.
Ooh, the GOP, like the Ben Shapiro's, the conservatives, PragerU, all anybody who's speaking like the ex-president. Anybody who's speaking like
You say
the
45 at
40,
this point, 45.
yeah, anybody who's speaking like 45, they are the people. And they were the main ones talking about how they were being censored, which is funny to me because when you go look at the most streams, the most views, and all that stuff, it was all conservative
Mm-hmm. Keith
party
said,
members.
I haven't seen what she said, but let's be real. We all knew that that's how they operated. All she did was confirm suspicions.
Yep.
And I mean, even with the whole like 5 hours of Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp being down, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all watched The View, but I love my talk shows, and they were
Mm-hmm.
talking. And Sunny Hostin, shout out to Sunny Hostin, I love her. She made a statement. I was like, ooh. She said, it doesn't surprise me. I'm paraphrasing what she said, but she basically said, well, it doesn't surprise me that it went down because guess what? Facebook snatched up and bought WhatsApp and bought Instagram, and they have this thing where they want to be the number one thing, and then they try to bring up this whole like excuse of, oh, we're not trying to dominate social media. We're just
Mm-hmm.
because you got TikTok and you have Twitter. I'm like, okay, that's cute, Mark Zuckerberg.
Mm-hmm.
But I got I got to shout out one of my friends for calling him Zuckerberger just to be funny. But Mark Zuckerberg, like, that's not his last name. It's not Zuckerberger. It's Zuckerberg. But yes, but yeah, his justification for no for buying out WhatsApp and Instagram is like, oh no, there's other social media outlets doing just as great as Facebook. But why would you
Mm-hmm.
buy out WhatsApp? You knew WhatsApp was competing against you. You knew
Mm-hmm.
Instagram was finna be. Instagram was the it thing when it came to posting photos. Facebook wasn't doing it, so Facebook was like, you ain't finna outshine us. I'm finna buy you
Yep.
out. We got
Yep.
WhatsApp because WhatsApp is international. Because WhatsApp is throughout the world. WhatsApp is in all countries.
Mm-hmm.
So like, oh, Facebook's like, oh no, we're gonna buy y'all too. And
Mm-hmm.
when Sunny reported the numbers, I think the WhatsApp, I mean, Facebook bought WhatsApp for like $11.5 billion, and then
Mm-hmm.
Instagram for like 4.7. It's like crazy. It's crazy the money they
Mm-hmm.
do just to buy a company. But anyway.
Yep.
Keith says people that listen to Ben Shapiro just commit self-torture. That voice alone, come on, the shade of it all.
Real talk. You know who I blame?
I'm waiting. What do you blame?
That's who I blame right there. They are the ones who allowed, Facebook to do all this stuff. But now I don't, if I'm gonna be real, I don't really trust government regulation at this point. So I feel like they would only want to break up Facebook because Facebook is determining, let's face it, who's winning elections. So when they break it up, you allowed it to come together, so then you could break it up, but then it's going to be broken up in a way that's going to be better for them. Like how
I got a
people get
question.
a seat in how people get a seat in Congress, making 100-something thousand, $174,000 a year, but in 5 years they're millionaires already. Like that just don't add up. But go
I got
ahead.
a question for the people. You don't have to answer this, Brandon, but I'm gonna ask the folks.
Okay.
What do y'all do? Who do you think was behind those apps being down for 5 hours? Just let that. Just who do you think was behind it? Do you think Facebook did that on purpose to prove a point? But I'm just what do y'all think? What made Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp to just be down for 5 hours?
Miss Johnson said, "What about MySpace?" Keith says, "Government regulation is only half step up over self-regulation." And then here's our question.
Who do you think was behind Facebook down? Hashtag Facebook down. Keith said a new network tech that goofed in their first week. Oh, is that a fact? Is that a fact? Keith, what are you guessing?
I'm not sure if that.
Yeah, let me know
that
if that's a fact or not. Because if that's a fact, then I mean that's the fact. I was just gonna say that I think that Facebook did it on. I think Mark Zuckerberg and the COO. I think they did it on purpose to prove a point. Like y'all need us, so don't try me.
Ooh,
That's what I.
yeah.
That's what I. That's what I think. Facebook said, "Oh no, y'all need us, so we're just gonna shut it down purposely for 5 hours." And then just Mark Zuckerberg just did this whole like little apology, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, my bad, y'all."
Yeah, because I think the information in which the whistleblower shared was absolutely true. I feel it was true. I think the timing of it is of these kind of things is suspicious, and I don't necessarily trust their motives, but nevertheless, the information is true.
Keith said there was an issue with their network protocol. I read that, Keith. I know, but I don't know if I believe it. The timing could be 100% coincidental. That's what I'm saying, Keith. I just don't feel that it was just, the timing of the whistleblower and all that, everything was just like,
I think Facebook, with their algorithms and all that, has all this data, and they knew, so it kind of matches what the whistleblower is saying. Think about it.
That's Facebook, what I think Facebook did on purpose.
Right? So Facebook plays on your emotions. So they show people that would make people, they show things to people that would make them angry, so then they consume more of the platform, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, or WhatsApp. And so with it, they shut it down. They pulled the plug for 6 hours or whatever. It was probably on a timer, so they can make people emotionally like they didn't know what to do because Facebook and Instagram is down. So it's a way
everybody
to
went to Twitter. So
it's a way to sort of get people's emotions back to thinking about Facebook in a positive light.
Keith says Facebook being down is them losing revenue. I don't know if their greed would override their spite. People always go looking for conspiracies during coincidences. And that's a good point. And that's a really, really good point, because they did lose $5.7 billion altogether. They lost their net worth went down though. That's the thing. It's only.
But you know what?
Down.
Thank you. They ain't paying
attention. Mark Zuckerberg didn't lose no money, boo boo.
and neither did
net worth. Not. I don't think. But
and I even feel like that reporting was, when I saw that headline, I was like, whatever. I even feel like that was an emotional thing to get us to feel bad for Facebook.
Like Mark Zuckerberg, I'm gonna call him the wrong last name. Mark Zuckerberg need to stop if that's what he really doing. Because half of a good majority of us is not gonna feel no sorry when you have a net worth of over almost $200 billion. So no.
Yeah.
When your COO only got a net worth of 1.7 billion, but you got a net worth. I brought that up before. I was like, how does the second in command, the second in charge, have a way lower net worth than Mark Zuckerberg?
Probably because $1 billion is like,
it's a lot. I mean, girl, you good.
See, I mean, I think at that point it's kind of like, what can you
No,
spend your money on?
it's not much difference.
And they ain't paying no taxes on it too. Let's face it, they ain't paying.
I'm just
They're not
looking at
paying.
the disparity. I mean, I'm like, if Mark Zuckerberg, let me stop calling him the wrong last name. If Zuckerberg,
Well, he shut us down.
he shut us
Vibelytical
down
shut
over
us
here
down.
shading him, right? Let me stop.
Some,
For Zuckerberg to have almost $200 billion net worth and the second in charge only has one, like that is, I mean, a billion is a billion. I got it, but girl, that's a big old difference. I'm not trying to make as much as you, but dang, that is a big difference. That's all I'm saying. Look up the COO's net worth and look at the hashtag Zuckerberg. I want y'all to look up the net worth of both of them and see what big of a difference it is. Just look it up. Type in COO, who's a female. I can't remember her name. That's Facebook COO, and then Mark Zuckerberg. So you still got me saying Zuckerberg. Zuckerberg.
What if
Zuckerberg? Sorry.
What if that's not what she's really getting paid, but that's just what they put out there because there's this. Okay, now I'm really in conspiracy land. Keith, thank you for bringing up the word conspiracy. But what if she really gets paid more than that, but to the public, it's about keeping this, status quo up, that women deserve less? Because I do think when you have a certain amount of money, probably $20 million, maybe when you're a 20 millionaire, then like life is different for you. There is a certain level of threshold. Once you get above it, it don't even matter no more.
Look what Keith said. You answered your question in your own question. You said female.
See?
Yeah, you answered it kind of. I mean, that could easily be it. It could easily be because, she's a woman and then it creates that discussion and all that. But she probably banking with money way more than $1 billion. She probably got way more than $1 billion. Who run the world? Girls. Honestly, Brandon, this is not to shade Mark Zuckerberg because, whatever. But I think the COO really run it. I think he's the face. I think the COO is the brains and COO is that's what it stands for. But I feel like she has way more power and influence than what we believe or what we know.
Yeah, the CEO is, and many times just a figurehead, the person who gets all the money and all the tax breaks, and and make sure everybody gets paid way less. That's usually what the CEOs do. Except that one CEO, the one with the long hair, he looked like white Jesus with the beard and stuff. He does. That CEO, what's that guy's name? He owns a tech company out of Seattle or somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, and he started paying people about $65,000, $70,000 a year, and his company is killing it still. And because he basically wanted people, all the smart things. What if America right now, then I'm going to keep comments up there. What if America right now paid everyone enough to live in their zip code? That's all we need to do. Everybody don't need to be a millionaire, gazillionaire. Everybody doesn't need to have, because a living wage is different everywhere. But if we cared about our environment, if we cared, this is why I'm running for
in. Doing what?
Yeah, this is why I'm running for and I don't know. It's gonna happen. But I think, like, look, if we paid everyone enough to live in their zip code where they work, I think we see a totally different country. It'd be way less, because somebody who lives in Wyoming doesn't need to make as much as somebody who lives in New York.
No.
And then we need rent control. Right. And so that way everybody be able to afford everything. But that's sustainable, right? We don't want sustainable. We want to make major profits and keep going and going and going until ain't shit.
My rent keep going up. Keith says, "Oh, I know who you're talking about. He owns a credit card." Oh, I think just being over your first 100 mil, there's no point in getting more.
See.
And then he says, "Oh, I know what you're talking about. He owns a credit card transaction company, I think."
Oh, okay.
And then Johnson says, "Oh, yes, less welfare, less food stamps."
See? But y'all, I watched this video. Do you know who the Quack Brothers are? Shout out to the Quack Brothers on YouTube. I'm like such a nerd. I'm also discovering that about myself. I'm always like, I take breaks. but I'm always finding some new information to process. And
Yeah,
y'all,
because
the
you
demo
got me the other day with some news.
I did.
Yeah, because you know you always sending me stuff, which I don't mind.
Oh,
But
oh,
when you send me that that the where a man sued Tesla and got $137 million.
mm, mm.
$137 million, and even after taxes, he still go home with like 110, 105.
See,
He's still
mm,
going home with over 100 million
hmm
for being called the N word at work. Can he
see,
make a Tesla in peace? Can he make a Tesla in peace
and nobody did anything about it. That's the crazy part.
for a whole year?
Mm.
He says there's studies out there that if people pay a living wage, less people will be on social services, and it will save the government billions, if not more.
But
Listen, Keith is a nerd too. Keith be knowing, okay?
see, which further lets me know that everything is going as planned and it was never designed to be sustainable. Call me conspiracy if you want to, but like if the information is out there, why are we not following it? Why are we not doing when everyone's paying taxes, including immigrants? But y'all, the Democrats is about to sell us out if they pass that infrastructure bill. You know what's in there? They coming after people's retirements.
Listen, don't be touching my retirement now,
They are
okay?
coming after people's retirements and restricting what people can do with certain accounts. And what I'm going to do is after this, if you remind me, I'll put it in there. I'll put it in the comments. But if you just look up the Quack Brothers on YouTube, they did a video. One of the brothers did a video about it, and he went into all the details of basically like how you can have certain, like you know how you can transfer your IRA from Roth and traditional and stuff like that. They're gonna stop that after a certain amount. Then they want the IRS to basically track everyone's money. So if you do any transaction over $600, that got to be reported to the IRS. What the heck? I thought this is land of the free, home of the brave. So
Anything
y'all
over
want
$600, what do you mean?
yes,
Like
reported. It has to be reported to the IRS. So everybody's money, honey, gonna be tracked. Like, huh? I don't get it. The
wait, you talking
Democrats
about
is
like about
just
moving from savings to checking or something? Like, what are you talking about?
any kind of no, yeah, like any kind of financial transaction above $600 is gonna be tracked by the IRS. Google it, look it up. Look at that video by the Quack Brothers where they go over all of this stuff, and it's just crazy.
The immigrants who is funding Social Security.
Hmm.
Johnson says, I'm about to get all mines and put it in my mattress before they get to it. And she also said, I'm at 599. They not tracking me.
Yeah. See, yeah, it is very interesting. So they want to like basically change the regulations that allow for people. So there's certain retirement accounts that you can have where you could take a loan from it and put it to like let's say somebody wanted to invest in the Vibelytical show, right? They could look. I'm speaking it into existence. If somebody wanted to invest in the Vibelytical show, right? They could take from their retirement account and basically invest in the Vibelytical show. The Democrats are also trying to pass a bill where that's in there, but that would no longer be possible to do. So you won't be able to have access to your money in these certain ways, which are allowing people to climb out of poverty and are allowing people to move into the higher echelon of having a more free quality of life, right? Because I think at a certain, according to what Keith said, after 100 million, but I think, I don't know, if you're making six figures in a year, you're doing pretty good, especially if you manage your money right. You know what I'm saying? Like if you manage your money right, you're doing pretty good. And so these are some ways that people are leveraging the money that they have, because your retirement income is going to grow way faster than your savings account, right? I'm doing pretty good. My TSP about 24%. Okay, that's a good amount.
Oh yeah, I ain't up there. I need to work my way up there. Keith says I haven't heard about that. I remember someone was spreading false information like that during Obama years, that you couldn't spend 1K without the government finding out. People were freaking out about having to inform the IRS about buying a new TV. Right. Because when I PCS, y'all, because I'm PCSing next year to go to Maryland, and I want to buy a 65-inch TV for my living room, and that is like a $1,200 TV. So I got to report that. Like what?
See, and y'all know how. Well, not you reporting it. Like that financial transaction will be reported. Now, the thing is, y'all know a lot of times governments have tried to implement these type of measures, and then people catch wind of it, and then they report on it, and then it gets removed.
Listen, I am like Starsha girl. Dang, I thought I was doing good with my little 10% for TSP, right? Because
Oh,
I think I'm at like 5 or 6. I ain't even at.
let me clarify. So I'm talking about my return on investment was 24%,
Oh,
but
okay. Okay, my
but I
TSP.
am doing 20, but I am doing 20%.
Yeah, I'm
I'm like,
not at those
let me
20.
catch it up. I'm like, let me catch it up. These last few years, I got in the army.
I'm at 5%, and I was like, I'm gonna go. I might go up to 10.
Mm-hmm.
If the Lord, if the Lord blesses me with master sign, I put it at 10% or
Yeah.
whatever. 20. She said go 80 inches. Girl, no, I'm not buying no 80-inch TV. That is too much TV.
Yes. Yeah. That's what my next one. I think I got a 70 or 75 inch. My next one will
I'm
be
gonna
80,
get.
85.
Well, you know what? Being that I'm getting a townhouse, I might get an 80-inch, but it'll be. I'm probably gonna put that one down in the basement and then do my 70-inch in the living room. So I might do it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I got a little baby
Mm-hmm.
TV. I'm not even gonna tell y'all how many inches I got right now. Y'all gonna laugh at me. I think you
a
little.
25, a 25-inch
It's
TV,
bigger than 25 now. It's bigger than 25.
42.
It's 42. I have a
That's
42.
not bad.
It's a baby, but it's cute.
That's
It's my
not bad.
little video. Okay, don't judge me.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Oh, Johnson said. Oh, Keith said the manpower alone to track all that will break the government. It would be.
Yeah.
80 inches. I don't know. Maybe. She said, speak that master sign into existence. I did kind of speak it into existence when I make master sign.
Hey, reach down and grab it. If
Grab
it's
it.
mine, it's mine.
If it's mine, it's mine. That's how I view it. That's how I view it. Keith said the price jump from 70 inch to 80 inches is insane. Even 72 inches.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. I'm good with a 70-inch. I'm probably gonna get a 70
Yeah.
first, and then
Mm-hmm.
save money and then get the 80 later on. But, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think it'd be a good time to show the video. What y'all think? Or is there any other topics that's going on lately that y'all want to talk about?
Yeah, what y'all want to talk about? We kind of like went all around the way with topic.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We did, but that's how we do. We flow.
well, that's how
We
pop-ups
flow.
are.
We flow. We flow.
It's expected.
Yeah. Especially on the pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I have a question for the parents in the room. If we got any parents in here, how do y'all feel about vaccinating your children? I'm not sure if that's too controversial to get into, but if it's safe for you and you want to talk about it, I would like to hear, your input on what you think about it.
And are you talking about children under 12?
Yeah, like because I don't have children, so I'm not sure who they're talking about. But I think I saw the news that Pfizer was asking to vaccinate children 5 to 11.
Yes, that's what they're trying to do. Starsha says I'm not
Mm-hmm.
fooling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on board for child COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
Keith.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can see that.
My children are not of age, but I'm not sure. I feel torn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we're talking to all parents. No, I think majority of the folks on here are parents.
See, they need to be on here teaching us something.
We
Yeah.
gotta bring Keith on as a guest and Johnson.
Mm.
But look,
Yes.
my goal is to bring Everett on as a guest so we can see his
Where
face.
he at? He missed. We
Oh,
missed him
yeah.
tonight.
Well, we've been gone a long time too. She said I
Yeah.
got sick on both doses, and that's why I fear.
Mm.
And then Keith says, after my second shot, I don't want Kaylee going through what I did.
Mm.
Yeah, but and the thing is, though, I mean, as you both probably know, though, Keith and Johnson, that everybody's body responds differently to the vaccine. So
Very
even though
true.
your experience may not be your child's experience, so just keep
Mm-hmm.
that in mind. It could be way worse, or it could be like they like, I'm good, Dad. I'm good, Mom. So that's
Mm-hmm.
another perspective to think about with the vaccine.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get this video up so I can give y'all but I kind of want to show two. It'd be about 6 minutes. Is that cool?
You're showing one for 6 minutes or two for 6 minutes?
Two. Well, two is 6 minutes total. Would that be all right?
Yeah.
Uh, wait.
I kind of want to get some more wine. As
I
you put,
forgot how do I do this.
ooh, it's been so long since you.
Right? That's not. Is that it?
Yeah, you put it on the screen. Keith said something.
Oh,
What did Keith
what he
say?
say?
Keith said, I know it could be different. Starsha had a better experience than I did. I was probably a few hours from going to the hospital with my 104 fever. Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Mm.
that's what I'm saying. Starsha's body was like handling it pretty well, and then you over here going to the hospital almost. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Poor thing.
Well, I'm glad you're better now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I got vaccinated when the army was like, hey, everybody. I was like, I want that Johnson and Johnson one and done. And let me just go on about my life.
Why you said Johnson and Johnson? I
Let me
can't.
get the Johnson and Johnson because yeah, that's for me. One and
Starsha
done, and
said,
let me go on about my life.
Starsha said, I am a G. Come on,
Mhm.
Starsha.
Yep. Okay, so y'all, let me this is a school of life video that I was talking to you about earlier. And you know what? Straight up, everything sounds better with like, I don't know why, a British accent or any accent. Everything sounds better with an accent. It makes me listen more intently, I noticed.
Keith said, now my job is requiring us to have the vaccine because it's a federal contract.
Yeah.
They're starting to make it mandated now. She said, Johnson said, the way my bank account set up, I said, give it to me, baby.
That's funny.
Well, okay, I'm gonna say this. This may be shady, but I'm gonna say it. Sorry, it's our show, so I'm gonna say it.
Ooh, okay.
I have a Facebook friend who
Mhm.
will be unnamed that is going on and on and on about how it's going against their rights and that they are not getting vaccinated and they've been in the army for 10 years and they're going to get out. They're getting out after 10 years in the military because they refuse to get vaccinated.
Mm. Do you, boo?
That's really what I was going to say. Do you, boo? But I'm like, I'm not throwing away 10 years of my career
Mm-hmm.
to stand firm in my belief. I mean, I understand everyone has a right to their belief in there and what they value and all that. But if it's going to take
Mm-hmm.
horns away from me, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm gonna suck it up. But she's not, so, Starsha says, I would love to see their face when they realize civilians are being forced to get the vaccine too. I know. She probably know that. She probably know that civilians are getting mandated. She don't care.
Mm.
She's not getting
Mm.
vaccinated. She's
Mm.
not getting vaccinated. Let's not get COVID, but go ahead and put some anthrax and smallpox in these stupid people.
Mm. Let me help the anti-vaxxers out. Not that they need it, but a little bit, right? Because I want to show people that this is still like segueing into the video, so it's kind of perfect that I know myself and I research things so that way I'm more comfortable about the decision that I'm making. Because I think we are our own advocates for our
I'm
own
gonna get
health.
some more
Yes,
wine. I'll be back.
okay. Yes, doctors go to school, but if you ever heard the statement, doctors practice medicine, and you know your body, and you're the one who lives with your body every single day. And so I think that it's important for me to continue my mind and learn new information. And one of the things I learned is that Israel, right? They were one of the first countries to get majority of the people vaccinated. So that's where they chose to do the research, or that's what they just wanted to tell us. And so they were tracking the vaccine, and they were also tracking people who had antibodies and got COVID but recovered. So what they found is that your natural immunity is 13 times stronger than the Delta variant. But that's if you live through the Delta variant, though. You get what I'm saying? So this is how we should process information. Because some people would be like, "Oh, he's an anti-vaxxer." When I posted the article, some people would probably think, "Oh, he's an anti-vaxxer." I'm not. It's just information. Like if your natural immunity, this is what the research shows. Whether we could trust it or not, I don't know. But it's information out there that your natural immunity is 13 times stronger than the Delta variant. But that's if you live through the Delta variant, which we could see a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
You know, I
It,
wish at the beginning. Go ahead.
so I was just gonna say, like, with the individual that I was speaking about, I feel that, well, I'm nervous for that individual more so
Mm-hmm.
because there's a strong held belief that she's standing so firm in her belief that and the fact that she's not getting vaccinated, that I'm fearful.
Mm.
This is what I fear. It's not even the fact about her not getting vaccinated. What I fear is that she's being irresponsible while being unvaccinated. That's
Mm.
what I'm more concerned about. It's not necessarily
Mm.
even about her not being vaccinated, but are you wearing your mask properly? Are you social? Are you physical distancing? Are you like I think that's the piece that, for me, being unvaccinated, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Because like that's more of my concern. Like, you not being vaccinated, that's
Mm.
your choice and that's your thing. But are you being responsible while being unvaccinated? Because it's your right to not get vaccinated. The army
Mm.
can't. The army can just say you can go, and that's what the army's doing. But at the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day, are you being responsible while being unvaccinated? Because
Mm.
someone that's unvaccinated just has to be a little bit more careful about their social settings, because you chose not to get vaccinated, and you don't
Mm-hmm.
know how your body's going to react when you get COVID.
Mm.
That's
And I think,
that's
and I think too, I want to push back slightly on that and say that I think it doesn't matter if you're vaccinated or not, because certain people have still got it and been vaccinated too. So
Well,
I
you
think
can
it's
get
just,
vaccinated. That's what I'm saying. I think for me, I look at it as you have to be a little bit more careful. Now, people that are vaccinated are still catching it, and some of them have been hospitalized. So let's be real here. Vaccinated folks
Mhm.
have been hospitalized for
Yeah,
having COVID. Chris Rock is one of them. He's fully
yeah,
vaccinated, and he got COVID.
yeah.
Now,
And
mind
some people died
you, right, and
who were fully vaccinated.
fully vaccinated. So I'm
Mhm.
not sitting here saying that just because you're vaccinated, you need to be out here doing what you need to do. No,
Right, right.
I'm more concerned about the folks that are unvaccinated. Are you still being safe too? So it's not
Mm-hmm.
to discredit or to tear her down. It's just more of like, okay, you're not vaccinated, so I hope you're being just as careful as someone that is being vaccinated. Because even though I'm
Mm-hmm.
vaccinated, I'm wearing my mask when I go in the store. I'm wearing my mask when I go to the mall. I'm wearing my mask when I'm in public settings.
Mm-hmm.
Still, still
Mm-hmm.
after getting vaccinated. So that's all.
Yep. Keith gave us a big old comment. Come through,
Oh,
Keith.
Keith be coming with it. I be loving it. Doesn't matter about research. That British doctor who lied about his vaccine report got debunked and had his medical license revoked is still being regarded as a source for why vaccines are bad for kids. People will only believe or listen to things that fall into their views or align with their opinions.
Yes, which dang, all this stuff is tying together, right? Like, which is the emotional piece. Think about, look, people, this is my thing. You can be vax, you could be anti-vax, you could be whatever. But isn't it interesting that these people who are anti-mask and who are anti-vaxxers, like, unless they're just showing the worst of them, like these people are kind of insane. Like, what you so angry for it? Like, how did a brother kill his own brother about the vaccine? Unless that's a lie. Like what is causing people, like people shooting somebody for telling the customer, remember at the gas station, he told him to put his mask on. The guy goes out, gets the guns and shoot and shot him. Like, what is it about? So that's what lets me think that it's an emotional thing and it has nothing to do with intelligence or
And that's
anything like
kind
that.
of where I'm going with the female that I'm at, the Facebook friend, about
Yeah.
like you're riding on your emotion about not getting vaccinated. So it makes
Yeah.
me wonder, how responsible are you being in
Right.
public with wearing your
Yes.
mask? Because
Yes.
I said I'm vaccinated and I'm still wearing my mask in public spaces. I'm
You
not
know what?
this.
This it reminds me of those people who be like, I'm getting off social media, but they posting on their Facebook, I'm shutting my page down. Just shut your page down and go on about your business.
Or they be like, girl, or they be like, I'm deleting folks off my social media. I need to clean house. Girl, just delete
Yeah.
them.
Delete them, right? What you
Yeah,
tell it? What you?
out that you do.
Oh my gosh.
It's annoying. You ain't gotta make
Uh-huh.
no announcement. Just delete them, sweetie.
Just do it. On
Just
to
do
the
it, Mikey.
on to the next one. Look, I'm trying for the video again. Okay, let's watch this. It's how to know yourself. Uh-oh. Hold up. Keith got a comment.
Oh God, I know. Just do it and not mention it. No one was gonna notice anyways, honey boo boo. Honey boo boo. Listen,
Right.
I want to hear Keith say that. I'm calling Starsha. I want to hear Keith say honey boo boo on the phone. You ready? I'm calling Starsha tomorrow.
Right. Okay, we about to roll the tape, y'all. Here we go.
Many of us are wandering the earth, accomplished in many ways, capable of fulfillment at many points, but with a fundamental wound that stops us from becoming who we truly might be. We don't quite know who we are.
Does it sound good?
It isn't, of course, that we can't remember the basics of our biographies. We're unsure around two things in particular. Firstly, we don't have a stable sense of what we're worth. And secondly, we don't have a secure hold on our own values or judgments. Without knowing who we are, we tend to have particular trouble coping with either denigration or adulation. If other people decide that we are worthless or bad, there will be nothing inside us to prevent us from swallowing their verdicts in their entirety, however wrong-headed, extreme, or unkind these might be. We'll be helpless before the court of public opinion. We'll always be asking other people what we deserve before seeking in some for an answer. Lacking an independent verdict, we also stand to be unnaturally hungry for external praise. The clapping of an audience will matter to us far more than would ever be wise. We'll be prey to rushing towards whatever idea or activity the crowd happens to love. We'll laugh at jokes that aren't funny, uncritically accept undeserving concepts that are in vogue, and neglect our truer talents for easy, popular wins. We'll trail public opinion slavishly, constantly checking the world's whims rather than consulting an inner barometer in order to know what we should want, feel, and value. We need to be kind on ourselves. No one is born with an independent ability to know who they are. We learn to have an identity because, if we're blessed, in our early years, someone else takes the trouble to study us with immense fairness, attention, and kindness, and then plays us back to us in a way that makes sense and that we can later emulate. They give us the beginning of a true portrait of our identity, which we can then take on and enrich over the years and use as a defense against the distorting verdicts from hurried or ill-intentioned others. Knowing who one is really the legacy of having been known properly by somebody else at the start. This early identity building tends to unfold with apparently innocuous but life-saving small steps. "Oh, that must really have hurt," a parent might say in response to an upset, thereby validating an infant's own feelings. Or, "It's okay not to feel happy on your birthday," the parent might say at another point, delicately upholding an infant's less typical response to certain events. Ideally, the child isn't just known, he or she is also interpreted as likable. A good parent offers generous interpretations. They're on the side of the child and are always ready to put the best possible gloss on moments of ill temper or of failure, which forms the basis upon which resilient self-esteem can then later emerge. Now, that's the ideal, but it can, of course, go very wrong, and often does. A parent may offer mirroring that is out of sync with the reality of the child. "Look, you're such a happy little boy or girl," a parent might insist, when actually the opposite is clearly the case, thereby badly scrambling the child's ability to connect with their own emotions. Or the parent might only lend the child a very harsh, punitive way of interpreting itself, repeatedly suggesting that the child is ill-intentioned or no good. Or the parent may simply not show very much interest in the child, focusing themselves elsewhere, so that the child grows up with a feeling that not only is it not worth cherishing, but also because it hasn't been adequately seen and mirrored, that it doesn't even quite exist. A feeling of unreality is the direct consequence of emotional neglect. Realizing that we lack a stable identity is a sobering realization, but we can, with a fair wind, start to correct the problem at any point. We need to seek out the help of a wise and kindly other person, perhaps a good psychotherapist, someone who can study us closely, mirror us properly, and then validate what they see. Through their eyes, we can learn to study, perhaps for the first time, how we really feel, and take seriously what we actually want. We can, by being witnessed generously, more often learn to take our own sides and feel increasingly solid inside, trusting ourselves more than we trust the crowd, feeling that we might be able to say no, not always swaying in the wind, and feeling that we are in possession of some of the ultimate important truths about us. Having come to know ourselves like this, we will be a little less hungry for praise, a little less worried by opposition, and a lot more original in our thinking. We will have learned the vital art of both knowing and befriending who we really are.
Our Know Yourself cards can help us to better understand the deepest, most elusive.
Baby, 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 baby. That was just the educational way of saying what I've been saying.
Yes. Yes. Very much so. That's why I was like, the video really fits. Like, so
Fit what
what
I,
we're go ahead.
it fit what I was talking about with me when it came to
Mm-hmm.
self love.
Mm-hmm.
It really hit what I discussed, but just a more educational way.
Yes. Very much so. So
Wow.
look at like some of these titles here. I mean, it's cool. They like it they have every can I celebrate that the fact the people in the cartoon were black? They was brown skin. So look,
Yeah,
it has like self-hatred.
we're not represented much anyway, so it was good representation.
Yeah. Pills versus therapy. Okay, so I'm living for the fact that he talked about a good psychotherapist or yeah, just a therapist in general. I feel like I would explain it in life. We go to school, hopefully, to learn something, right? Even though sometimes it feels like doctrination, we go to school to learn something, and you can learn something, even if it's in the form of like trying to indoctrinate you into white Jesus and white Santa and etc. Um, at the same time, if we want to get in shape, we get a personal trainer or whatever, right? So we go to all the specialty people when we have a goal set in mind or when we're trying to love ourselves even more. So then why the heck is everybody not in therapy? Who can afford it? Why isn't everybody in the military going to behavior health? Because the military is one of the most stressful jobs in the world. And other people might feel like their job is terribly stressful as well. So, I mean, having a good therapist, I probably went through 8 stages of grief while I was going through divorce in 6 months. But if I was by myself with my own ideas, bouncing it off my friends, because it does help to have a voice that's a professional voice. I mean, this is what these people are educated on and hopefully good at. And if they're not, you fired. I'm finding a new. I'm finding a new one.
Boom.
But the fact that the therapist that I had was able to identify behaviors and explain them to me in a way that I understood, it helped me, move on with my life and get over something. Because I don't know if anybody who ever been through divorce, but it's a thing that like messes with your mind, even if you feel like you were right in it.
And Johnson said EOA is stressful.
Ain't it?
It is. I can only speak from my experience in my EOA time. Um, the stressful part for me is taking a complaint and I cannot show my emotions with it. What did Keith say?
Sorry.
I do it the old-fashioned way, bottle up inside until I'm dead inside. Okay,
You
Keith,
need therapy.
listen, Keith need to go find a psychotherapist. That's what that's girl. But yeah, with EOA, I think
Yeah.
that for me personally, is the taking the complaints part that's stressful. I think for some others, and other EOAs have vented to me, is that they have a lack of um, they have they don't have supportive leadership on top of having to deal with complaints. So um, that adds on unnecessary stress to someone when they're already dealing with complaints from an individual, and then their own leadership is trash. So I feel for those people that have to deal with that, because it's like that's unnecessary stuff. Like leadership, now moving segueing into leadership for a little bit while Brandon gets his drink refilled. um, Leadership has really declined. Effective leadership in um, Effective leadership has declined in the military. And when I see senior non-commissioned officers and field grade officers mistreating their subordinates, that gives me that angst to just go on ahead and retire and get out. I ain't got time for this, because I just don't have time. Starsha did say something about Keith.
He need to go to bed.
Go to bed. Keith probably do need to go to bed. Uh, and then Johnson said something too. She said, to me, the lack of team effort and commander don't take complaints seriously. See? So one of the trends that I spoke about in my EO classes in Cadet Command is that the trend that we see is lack of leader action. When these complaints come up to my office, a leader could have stepped in and used conflict resolution themselves. They could have diffused the situation themselves. But no, they tell them you're being sensitive or being dismissive, or tell them, hey, if you feel like you've offended, go file a formal EO complaint. That's the trend that I'm getting in the Cadet Command. Yeah, Cadet Command out there. Yeah, that's what's happening. There's a lack of leader action, and I have given EO classes to all the cadre within Cadet Command, all the instructors, all the PMSs, all the APMSs, and said, hey, you all need to be more involved with your cadets and with your cadre, and it would
Yeah.
really remove a lot of these complaints if leaders step in and do what they need to do. But when you have leaders that don't want to act, and then like Johnson said, there's commanders that don't take complaints seriously. I'm not going to talk about Cadet Command with leadership, command leadership not taking complaints seriously. But there are leaders within those universities that are not, and telling folks to call EO. Why?
Yeah.
Why call EO when you could be the one to diffuse the situation yourself?
Well, let's say, I mean, I think that I look at EO through a leadership lens, and I feel like the real issue is that we are trivializing our fighting force. We're trivializing how we treat people. I can't believe like we're having discussions like the Army's talking about people first.
Girl, where?
Thank you. Like, and the fact that we have commanders in the military of all services who thinks that diversity, equity, and inclusion is Marxism. Remember, we read that. We covered that on one of the pop-ups, I believe. There was a lieutenant colonel, and I think he was at the Space Force or something. And there's commanders amongst all military services, and I guess it's just like they don't want accountability. They don't want accountability downward. So at the highest levels, everything's still getting swept under the rug, even as we speak. And that is the crazy thing.
He says the Army doesn't have people; they have numbers. That's all soldiers are to them, numbers.
Yeah,
that is true. And when things like that are mentioned, it gives me that like whole attitude of like, girl, I can go there. Because if I'm gonna look at it as a person, look at it as a number, I can go. I can hang this Army thing up, okay? And
after you get your retirement, though.
Yeah, after I get my retirement check.
Get your coins.
Get my check.
Cause you,
Run my check.
run me, because you did your time. And I feel, and you know what? The fact that we see this, I think, makes us better leaders than them. And sometimes, I now accept the fact that the reason why I've had it hard since I've been an NCO in the military since 2005. The reason why it's been hard in the paint for me, because I recognized this kind of thing back then, and I actually do give a damn about people, and I do have empathy, and that's not really what they want. They want a yes man. But the Army raised me in the be no do era. Like I had a first sergeant give me a speech. He was like, when I ain't gonna say the expletives on here, but he said when his dad was in the Army and he made sergeant, his dad was like the most fearless mother effer. And he was like, son Allen, if you need to put boot to, then you better do it. And I got your back and all this. So as a sergeant, I was walking around with a cape on. Like I could do anything. I get anything done. And then having empathy and all that and kindness and knowing how to communicate with people, you really can get everything done.
Yeah. Keith Starsha said, I made that realization today. I think I'm over the Army. Girl, I'm getting close to it. And then Keith made a comment too. If you get it approved, you tried it.
Right.
I can't. And then Starsha said, OMG, yes, that's my issue. I refuse to be a yes person. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially when stuff be wrong, right? Like we ain't talking about little stuff. We're not talking about, okay, so I'm oh Lord, I'm going there. So y'all, I did a compassionate reassignment.
Well, you about to PCS, so go in.
See, I did a compassionate reassignment, and that's why I'm moving to Hawaii to be with my family. It was approved, but it took me 19 days, and I met 3 sergeant majors, and I thought one of them was going to fight me, and I probably wanted to fight all 3 of them, but I held it together because I felt like it was a trap. They literally set a trap for me and was trying to get me to act out and be emotional. So they was trying to kick me while I was down, and it became about me and my medical stuff, which I'm like, and none of those senior sergeant majors now that I met, and I ain't gonna go no further than that, but I met senior sergeant majors, y'all, and not one of them asked me how my family was doing. Not one of them asked how I was doing. It was all you doing the wrong thing. And y'all, I'm a 42 Alpha, and every good 42 Alpha, which is an HR soldier, knows the regulation and or is going to verify the regulation before we do anything. So when you look in AR 600-14-200, paragraph 5-15, it says the actual process. And so when I'm telling them that, they're like, oh, you're not going to come to my office and tell me how to do my job. And like the female sergeant major, I thought she was going to swing on me.
Well, she knew what was right for her. She knew not to do that because then it would have been assault charges.
But just the fact that I went through all of that, and I really got upset that these people are responsible for thousands of soldiers, and I'm a soldier, and I wasn't treated like a soldier, and I damn sure wasn't treated like no senior non-commissioned officer. But guess what? We always win, and you always win when you're on the side of the Most High. And so my compassionate reassignment was approved, regardless of what people had to try to call HRC and block my stuff and all this. But it got approved, so I'm on my way. But it is just crazy to me that I feel that the military is more racist now, more bigoted now than it has ever been. And so like in how about I say in the future setting, like in 2021, for things to be as they are now is crazy to me. So it may not be where we have like all black units and this and that and this and that. But I feel like when I came in 2000, at the end of the day, it was like Sergeant Allen gay or Private Allen is gay and we all know it. But like he's good at his job and he's strong. He would pick me up and carry me if I was in a firefight. So at the end of the day, it didn't really matter. Yeah, there was not a lot of black and brown folks in the CAV, but they're like, he's good at his job. Now I feel like it don't matter if you're good at your job. Your eval is going to look, they're going to try to give you a terrible eval. And guess what? The worst times, sometimes it'd be like your own people who look like you, who are people who are in that position, giving you that terrible eval.
Mm-hmm. Johnson said, that's the worst. So much for people first.
So we are in the age of politics, literally. where leaders in the military they use the catchphrase, and like preachers, right? Like, we're gonna tell you all about it, but then live any old kind of way. And once we put the mic down, it doesn't even matter. But when we're in front of the cameras, people first, we're gonna come out there, we're gonna give you a speech. But when it comes time for your award and your eval, when you about to PCS, where they at then? So that's why I say promotion doesn't come from the east nor the west, but it comes from the Most High. It's him who decides to put one up and set another down. And you don't have to believe like me, but I know I didn't get promoted off my evals or nothing. And it's not that my evals were bad, but I don't even like to use the term good or bad when it comes to evals. It's either a reflection of my performance during the rating period or it's not. And damn near every eval except for about 3. And I've been in NCO since 2005. Probably only 3, maybe 4 evaluations were not a knuckle drag. Every other one, I was up in there. And I always had to make sure that I was doing my best. And I always make sure that the things that I was doing could be measured, right? Like, you could measure the PT test. You get a score for that. You could measure HR metrics, right? You get a timeliness report. You could measure these. I always made sure that I had measurable things that could go on my eval. But guess what? They would try to make those things met standards.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like, if it was another soldier, that would be an excellent. But for me, it's a met standard. I'm like, okay.
Q said, enjoy that RCOM for your PCS award despite doing everything for that unit.
It's
Girl,
okay.
what are you getting? Do you know what you get?
Right. I don't know. I really, to be honest, I really don't care. They, you know what? I think that's why they gave me an AAM, for a working group. But I don't really care.
That's an impact award. That's not a PCS award.
Right. And I really, to be honest, I really don't care. But you know what is everything though? That I prophesied to the civilians that we was all leaving at the same time, and we are. 3 civilians left.
And then you, the 4th person.
And I would say this is the highest level I worked in the Army, at a 2-star, like reporting directly to a 2-star. And I would say now I see why the Army is having the issues that it's having. Because being this high up, I would say EO is not respected. Neither was the sharp civilian. And the EO director is the worst. And it is just crazy to me that, like, this is how the Army is functioning. And I'm not even a vindictive person. Like, I try to use the process and use the channels to resolve things. But I was told, hey, that's the way you feel, make a complaint. Okay, don't invite me to a party.
I read that comment. I hate how the Army bases awards off rank also.
Yeah.
Oh, no, AAM. Oh, Jesus. But, yeah, based off of Keith's last comment, I mean, he should be getting an MSN. He's on first class. If you want to go by rank.
But because I'm leaving here early, and I've only been here for a year.
Their justification is you only did a year here, so.
But you can at least do an ARCOM. But you know what? I know at the end of the day, like, the impact that I made here, and I feel like at a certain point you got to be cool with that. And I'm getting what I wanted, and I really do. Like, I'm not just saying it for a cliche. I'm not just dismissing promotion away. I would like to be a master sergeant, but I do know that the only way I'm getting it is if the Most High want me to have it. I was a staff sergeant for 12 years, y'all. I don't know anybody else who was staff sergeant longer than me.
And I thought I was a staff sergeant a long time. When Brandon told me he was a staff sergeant for 12 years, I said, my gosh, I thought I was a staff sergeant forever, because I was a staff sergeant for half of the time. I was a staff sergeant for 6 years, and I thought 6 years was a long time to be a staff sergeant. But he's double what I was.
So I wasn't, like, to paint the picture for you. I was a 19 Delta when I came in the Army, which is a Cav Scout. Then I reclassed to 42 Alpha. So I made E6 when I made Staff Sergeant when I was still a Cav Scout. So March 1st, 2004, sergeant. March 1st, 2005, staff sergeant. So to the year is when I penned staff sergeant. So March 1st, 2005 to December 1st, 2017 is when
Brandon,
I was a staff sergeant.
Brandon, you was a staff sergeant, and I was every bit of a PSC.
See? See?
Keith said we had an E7 and above in my last deployment, getting bronze stars for attending meetings and sending out emails.
Mm.
And he did the eye roll emoji. We couldn't see it on the thing, but he eye rolled.
Oh yeah, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got my Spurs. They're actually in my bag over here. Not the combat ones, you know, but I got the silver ones.
That's crazy.
So yeah, so I think I can. So I said all that to provide a foundation for the fact that I know for me, the only way I'm getting promoted is if the Most High wants me to have it. And that whole time I'll be praying, Lord, I want to be promoted. I want to be promoted. And you know what? The Spirit kept asking me, but what do you need though? Because as a staff sergeant, I was balling. Like it really is about how you spend your money. And I really didn't need anything. And so I finally, you know how people ask you a question and when you be mad, you don't give an answer. You just be like, so I finally gave an answer and I was like, I don't need nothing. I don't need anything. Okay, then. Then I felt better about it. I was like, okay, well, I'll get promoted when you want me to get promoted. And you know what I think too? I'm probably like one of the most blessed people I know in the Army because we talk bad about it. And let's talk about how we made it work for us. So I was an EOA for a year. Now I'm about to go be a SARC. I was in cadet command. I was an ROTC instructor. You know what I'm saying? Like in Atlanta at Georgia Tech, Georgia State University, and I had the HBCUs when I was at Georgia State. Morehouse, Spelman, and Clark, Atlanta. You know, like I was stationed in DC. Like I've had a blessed career. Some people be mad. I think they look at my SRB and get mad at me like, how you get out of that? But so it has been a great experience for me and I get bored. So I love change, even though I'm tired of moving.
Yeah, I mean, the Army's been good to me too. I'm not gonna sit here and just trash the Army. It's been great. I have been, John said double credentials. Yeah. It's been good to me. I have been fortunate enough to be in majority good leadership. I've had some bad leadership in the past, but as far as what I've done for myself, I've done quite a bit. So yeah, I'm actually, you know, I mean, I've never been an instructor or anything like that, but I know that I've contributed my skill set and I mentor soldiers. And that's so good. And I've achieved a lot internally within my career.
Yeah.
So
and you got your master's degree? Hey.
I won't go say all that, but yes, I did. I got my master's degree while serving, so I don't have to worry about college after I retire. I can just be blessed. I can just go on and get a good job.
I have to worry about college, but I'm gonna make it work for me when I get out.
You're gonna be fine.
Get that BAH. I'm halfway through a bachelor's, but unfortunately, every time I go somewhere, I gotta be the Superman, y'all. And like this unit here too, the work, like this unit I'm in, they're supposed to have a lieutenant colonel, a sergeant major, or a master sergeant, and me.
And
but it's just me doing everything, doing all the observances, doing all and they want stuff like they want static displays. Andre, you know, I sent you the pictures and stuff of the walls, and then like I'll be making slideshow presentations, and then planning the installation observances. Yeah, that tuition assistance is nice.
Keith said use that GI Bill to cash in on BAH taking bachelor's classes. Just need a C grade to keep benefits.
See? That's my plan. If I got time,
I don't know how much time I got left on my GI Bill because I use my GI Bill for my whole master's.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how much I got left, but
yeah,
I'm gonna use the rest I got for some technical certifications or whatever.
Yes, I'm definitely going to use it. And if I have time to go, when I have had time to go, in my later years in the Army, like I had more, like when I was in Atlanta, being an ROTC instructor, I took courses. When I was in JBLM, I took courses. And then when I was here, I took courses too. But in all the places when I got into the work, and then I had that soldier go to jail when I was at JBLM, and then I was the only person in the S1 doing everything. I'm like, I can't do no classes.
He said, "Oh no, I mean, Lord Jesus."
Yeah.
Johnson says, "Hey, my husband getting ready to be done with SARC time. Reach out if you have questions."
Okay, thank you.
You
Damn, we've been on for
SARC after being EO. You can just ride out. You can just see.
See.
I already told you what you need to do with the school. You need to go to the long-term course so you can just go ahead and just the rest, however long you decide to stay in, you could just retire a SARC.
Do you have to do both of them?
No, you're only doing one. You're going to be the SARC. So the way they have it broken up, and Johnson, correct me if I'm wrong, or your husband, when you're in the military, you're a SARC, but when you get out, you could be the VA, the victim advocate. That's the breakdown for units, is that when you're in the military, you're a SARC, but when you're a civilian, you're a VA. That's what I'm guessing. I may be wrong, but Johnson's husband can correct me.
I think you could be
the foundation course. Yes, the foundation course is where you need to go, so you can get the credentials, and then you can take that after you retire and actually get like a GS 1213 job and be the post SARC or something. I'm telling you. And you could do that right in Hawaii. Just go on the base and just apply for the boot, and then you good.
Tell Kevin pack his bags, y'all.
Yeah, tell your boo to pack the bag. John said yes, 80-hour course, then foundation. Yes, the VA after you get out. Yep. So I was right. Okay. So go to you're gonna go to the 80-hour course first. That's the 2-week one. Then you go to the foundation one, which locks you in your career. You become a career SARC, and then you can retire a SARC and then become the VA as Mr. Allen. So
anywhere.
You go anywhere. All the bases, all of it. Anywhere you can pick anyone. So if you wanted to move back to Maryland, if you wanted to come back to Maryland, boom, Fort Meade, Aberdeen, any one of them you can work.
I do like Baltimore, y'all. Baltimore is really nice. It really is. I like Baltimore better than DC. It gives me the DC feel of what DC used to be before extremely wealthy people came in and just ruined the whole city. Extremely wealthy people ruin everything. Don't get it twisted. They really ruin
I might
everything.
end up moving to Baltimore when I retire. Like I might.
Baltimore is a dope city. It still has grit. It still has mom and pop places.
She said just keep up with your Nova credentials.
Definitely.
But he said even at Fort Polk. What?
Even at Fort Polk.
Johnson said our program manager, our installation is civilian.
For sure. That's what my coworker was here.
And I'm pretty sure it starts out GS11 or something like that. Damn white people ruining DC. Oh, and Keith is every bit of white saying that. That's what's so funny. Keith is white.
Extremely wealthy people ruin DC. Like it definitely doesn't feel the same. But I mean, Andre, remember we went out in DC? Everything's closed now. It looks different. I mean, I get it because of pandemic and stuff, but big money just came in and just, it just kind of ruined the feel of the city.
It did. Yeah. And I'm kind of glad I got Maryland as a duty station. And now that I was kind of sad because I wanted Belvoir because, it's closer to my bestie. But then I'm like, you know what? Meade ain't bad. I'm glad I got Meade. And my top secret security clearance is being prompted. So, Keith says you can't say that. Only I can. He talking about what I said about white people ruining DC. I think that's what he said. I didn't say white people ruining DC. You said it. I was just repeating what you said.
Everybody rocking with us tonight. I love it. Look, I still got wine, so I guess we could keep talking.
Listen, I'm almost done. I'm almost done with my second glass. I gotta buy some more Stella Rosa. I ran out.
Stella Rosa, my favorite. This is blueberry, y'all. We're not advocating for drinking, but if you like wine, Stella Rosa is lovely.
He said that's how San Francisco was ruined, New York, and so on.
Yeah, and I feel like Atlanta's going that way too. You know,
Well,
Buckhead or Midtown wanted to secede from like they wanted to be their own place or whatever.
but there's a
Yeah.
bunch of. Well, okay, I'll leave that comment alone.
Ooh,
I was saying it.
don't
But
say
anyway,
it.
moving on.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that. As far as me goes, I'm more than likely staying in Maryland after I retire.
Mhm. Yeah. I could see myself living in Maryland. I really feel like I mean, like I told you, Kevin and I would have to be engaged when we're making them kind of decisions, but I really feel like we headed down that I feel like we headed down that path and we talk about everything. I think that's important in relationships too, that you communicate about everything. And I was like, I'm cool with being long distance as long as there's an expiration date on, you know, on
Yeah.
us coming to meaning there's a plan for us to come together. So we long distance for like a year, 2 years. But my tour, the perfect thing though, this assignment is gonna take me to my retirement.
Mm-hmm.
36, it's a 36-month thing.
And that's what masters are or not. Yeah,
But
because
I feel like I think Kevin's gonna visit Hawaii and want to move there. Have we seen Squid Games?
Squid Games. So Georgie, my best friend, she watched one episode and said no more. So I don't know if I'm gonna watch it, but I am gonna watch it, Johnson. But I'm going up to Virginia next month because I'm gonna be speaking to my realtor because I'm buying a new home, y'all. That's the news. I'm buying a new townhome,
Hey.
my first ever, and I'm getting one built. So, but next month I'm going to meet my realtor in person. So, and I'm gonna be staying with Georgie. So I'm gonna watch Squid Games next month when I get out there to Virginia. So I have not seen it, but I'm gonna watch it next month.
I'm gonna put it on my list right now.
But it's very, very graphic and violent and grotesque.
It
Um,
is?
yeah, it's terrible.
Oh,
That's
I'm
why
gonna check
Georgia
out.
said I can't watch no more unless I'm with somebody. Johnson says, "Does it remind y'all of Star Power?" Sorry, off topic. Well, I looked at the plot um of Squid Games, and I'm just like, yeah, it looks like yeah, it looks like it's kind of like Star Power. I'm going in on the comments. Y'all hear about
Love it.
Zillow buying up houses to create a housing shortage and artificially increasing house values? Oh,
I
no.
did hear about that.
Well, I didn't know about that, but I'm not using Zillow, so
Use your
VA
VA
loan.
loan.
I'm using a VA loan. And shout out to Ryan Holmes because I'm using Ryan Holmes to get my house. Keith said Korean shows are something else, not like American TV at all. No idea is tossed when it comes to Korean shows. And John says, okay, let me know if it reminds you of Star Power. I will. I'll once I watch it next month with Georgie, because she said she can't watch no more by herself. So me and her gonna watch it together and be scared together. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know how it is. But yeah, I heard it's very graphic. John said, yes, by the end of the year, the prices are increasing. Yeah, and that's what I'm nervous about because I am buying a house next year. Now, mind you, I got to figure out how this works because I'm getting one built. So am I buying one this year because I signed everything to get started? Because if that's the case, I'm good. Because if I'm getting one built, I would need to buy it now so it can get built. So I might be buying a house this month or next month because they got to run my credit and all that stuff, make sure I'm approved for whatever.
Run my credit.
If I can buy and purchase the house this year, then I may be all right. Because I know in 2022, like you said, Johnson, prices are increasing. So I'm getting one built. So I'm hoping this month or next month because by the time I move out there, the house is going to be getting built between now and when I report. I'll report in May. So that does give the builders a little bit of time to build the home. So I'm hoping that I can purchase. I can basically purchase the home this year, so I ain't got to worry about purchasing the next year. And so by the time I report, the house possibly will be complete and be finished. Because if not, I'm gonna be staying at Georgia house until it's complete, until it's finished. So, because she told me I got a place to stay if my house is not done. So, but
That's
anywho, huh?
That's good.
Yeah, I got security. I got security with Georgie. We're staying at our house. Johnson said, check Navy Federal Credit Union. They have 2% rates. Okay, I'll check. I'll check them. Sergeant said, once you sign your contract, the price shouldn't change. Oh, good to know, because I'm a first-time home buyer. So all these pieces of information is helpful for me because it's my first time buying a house. So yes, so hopefully I get to sign that contract, not contract, contract this year.
Contract.
Contract.
It'd be a celebration.
Yes. Keith said, I saw a trailer for Squid Games, thought it was like Alice in Borderlands and like Saw in a TV show format, but I'm feeling pressured into watching it to keep up with the memes. Yeah, that's what I got too from the Saw movie. Yeah, that I think I'm gonna look at the trailer. I'm nervous to look at the trailer, but I'm gonna look at the trailer probably tonight, being that Squid Game that Johnson brought up Squid Games. I'm gonna look at the trailer, but I'm not watching it until next month. So
What I watched a crazy show with Kevin. Oh, 2 shows. Have y'all seen 9 Perfect Strangers?
That's another show I need to watch because I have not seen that.
It was interesting. I think I could recommend 9 Perfect Strangers. It was interesting, very interesting. Then, what about Midnight Mass on Netflix?
No.
That I almost didn't want to watch it no more. I didn't like it. I'm like, this is so much, it was so much. But when you're watching it, a TV show, and you want to know what's going to happen, but like you're not liking the show no more. We just continued to watch it. We kind of binge watched it.
Yeah. Well, have you heard about Dave Chappelle getting backlash for the transphobic comments he made on Netflix?
Yes, I want to watch. Yep, I want to watch his Netflix special.
I don't like Dave Chappelle.
Yeah,
I don't like.
I want to. Was it funny, or was it like the baby's comments?
I haven't seen it, but I don't like Dave Chappelle's comedic. I don't like his comedy. I think he's gifted and talented. I'm not gonna take that away. He's one of the greats. But I don't like his comedy. It's very cutthroat. And that's what makes money. What he says brings the attention, but he's getting backlash because saying those things in this current time with trans people being murdered, actually double this year and last year since the pandemic. Those comments are not like, it's acceptable to say that back in the 90s and early 2000s, but right now, and I think the sensitivity of it and the timing of that. I've never been a fan of Dave Chappelle, but I'm not going to denounce his creativity. He's very creative, very gifted, very talented. His comedic timing is on point. He's one of the greats, but I don't like his comedy. I don't like it at all. Dave Chappelle, no. Yeah. Keith said, I added Midnight to my list. Haven't had time to watch it though.
And then he said, what was the joke? I'm trying to look it up right now. I haven't watched it yet.
Well, he made several jokes about the trans community. So, and I just did a show about the science behind the transgender community. So, yeah, I think for me, it hit me harder because I was like, I just talked about trans people on. If check out our show 2 months ago when I discussed the science behind the transgender community. If you want to get some educational stuff on trans people, but when I saw that he was getting backlash over transphobic comments and trans stuff, I said, I was never a fan of Dave Chappelle, but after that, I was like, no. Dave Chappelle, I'm gonna need you to find some new content to be good in. Not trans people. That's because I did read that he made a comment saying the gays are sensitive now. The gays are soft. They didn't got soft on us. I respected the gays back in the day, but the gays now are just too brittle. They're too brittle. Yeah, he was attacking the LGBT community like all the way through. So I'm just like, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh Lord, you done pulled out the.
So let's see. Can y'all see? Let's see what he said.
Oh Lord.
In The Closer, which premiered on Tuesday on Netflix, Chappelle declared himself a trans exclusionary radical feminist TERF alongside Rowling. They canceled J.K. Rowling. My God. Effectually, she said gender was a fact. The trans community got maddish, then they started calling her a TERF. I'm Team TERF, the comedian said in a special, which was one of the most watched pieces of content on the streaming site. He said, gender is a fact. Every human being in this room, every human being on earth had to pass through the legs of a woman to be on earth. This is a fact, Chappelle added, before saying that trans women's genitalia are not quite what it is. Dang.
It's just too much.
Hmm.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Oh, see, look, I didn't even know. So this is a article from The Guardian. The 48-year-old comedian went on to say that he would like to negotiate the release of DaBaby, the rapper who faced widespread criticism in July over his discriminatory comments towards people living with HIV/AIDS. And we did do a show called DaBaby Gone Crazy. Remember?
Yep, we did.
Uh, he's previously been criticized for his trans attacking comments in earlier comedy specials. I remember that.
I remember this back in 2018 or something like that.
On one of his Netflix ones.
He was attacked. The thing is that my
Ooh, which
do what?
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say like it's comedians can cross some boundaries, like because comedians have to have content to make people laugh. So I understand comedians have to have this like it's not like they get a pass, but if they make it funny, that's okay. But when it's for me, I feel that it's all about timing, and I do not believe that gay people are sensitive. It's just that it's all about the timing. And you have to be very conscious about the climate we're in when it comes to that. If the climate wasn't as bad as it is right now, that comment probably wouldn't be too bad. He said, to be fair, everyone is soft these days, too thin-skinned. Now, I agree to a certain extent, though, because I have to factor in a marginalized group of people. So in the LGBT community, I've been marginal. I've been looked at less than because of just me being gay and being feminine. So I'm not thin-skinned because I'm not going to be bothered by someone calling me a faggot. Let's be real here. I'm not going to be. No, I know that is a derogatory term that has been used against me. So I'm not thin-skinned. I think what comedians have to look into now is figuring out how to make it funny without insulting, because you can be funny without directly jabbing and insulting a certain community. And the trans community is one of the communities that you have to really tread lightly with. And I say that because I know that comedians have this kind of like free reign to kind of like adjust what they're saying to make it funny. But I just feel that comedians have to be careful of that. Just be careful. Just that's all. I'm not saying to change how you do things. Just make some minor adjustments and figure out what can be funny in the now, and figure out how to and figure out ways to not insult. I feel like people like Dave Chappelle, being that he's so cutthroat, I feel like he needed to get with his team or get with someone that like, hey, I want to say this joke. Can I say this right now? Is this okay to say? Or how can I phrase this joke to where it's funny but not attacking? Because I feel like that's not done. I feel like Dave is just like, I'm going to say it and I don't care. Keith says comedians are supposed to analyze society and make their jokes based on social commentary. But there's a difference between being assaulted, like making fun of, and some joking. That's kind of where I was going. They have to analyze the current society, not even just society, the current society that they're in. The problem is people need to stop kicking people when they're already down. That's my main point, Sasha. Thank you. My main point is it's okay to make jokes about gay people. Okay, jokes about gay people have happened for decades, right? But now with the trans community elevating, you got your Laverne Cox, you got your Janet Mox that did Pose, you got all these trans people coming out and making a name for themselves, and then now and they're already being attacked anyway. They're being called men. These trans women are still being called men. So comedians have to be tread lightly with trans people. Any joke for that matter, be tread lightly, but they do have to analyze society. And I feel like with Dave Chappelle, Dave is in this, he's in that older generation. Like I said, what I said, and I'm not taking it back. Like Dave is not going to apologize for this. He's not going to say, "Hey, I will be cognizant of this." He knew what he was doing prior to coming on that stage. He wrote all his jokes prior to doing this special. He knew what he was going to say. And I'm not at this point. I know Dave Chappelle ain't apologize, and I don't expect one from him because I feel like if he was apologizing, it wouldn't be genuine. But my thing is that I'm not a fan of Dave Chappelle as far as his jokes. Now, do I think he's talented and gifted and very good and quick and witty? Absolutely. I'm not going to take that away from him. He's one of the greatest. One of the greats. But I'm not going to sit here and tolerate trans comments being done the way that he's doing them. He just has to be cognizant. That's all. You can joke about the trans. I mean, and even joking about the trans community is okay, but it gets too like when you bring in. I think for me, when you start bringing in real life scenarios of the baby for real, like, and tying that into your joke, no, he literally got just about canceled from everybody, and then that's what talk about. Like, I feel like, come on, Dave Chappelle, like, work with me here, like. Trans people have been talked about too. They have tough skin. There's a bunch of trans folks that I know. I have trans friends. They got tough skin. They can take a trans joke. Fine. Okay. You want to say that my voice is trans woman's voice is deep? Okay, that's funny. It's shady. It's wrong, but it's funny. A trans woman could probably take you saying that a trans woman's voice is deep, or saying that a trans man's voice is too girly. I mean, there's all kinds of jokes about trans people that people could say, but when you start going into like when you're like literally going in on them and insulting them, you have to be cognizant of how you're articulating the joke, so it's not. That's all I'm saying.
And look, this article went in straight where you said with 2021, or the article says with 2021 on track to be the deadliest year on record for transgender people in the United States. Netflix should know better. I can't say that word. Perpetuating transphobia perpetrates violence. Then out here he did. He said right here, "I'm not telling another joke about it until we are sure that we are laughing together," in regards to the LGBT community. He said, "I'm telling you, it's done. I'm done talking about it." He said, "All I ask of your community, with all humility, will you please stop punching down on my people?" He said in reference to the baby and other Black celebrities such as Kevin Hart, who have faced criticism for homophobic comments. So to me, I relate this to maybe his age, and it's just like,
well, I said his age. I said that from the beginning.
Like he said,
that him being old school, he's upset that people are attacking them about their comments, and it's like, well, if they would have never made the comment, they wouldn't be attacked. It's kind of one of those things like you're defending something that's wrong. Like I can see you defending something that you're supposed to be standing for, but he's not defending anything that he's standing for. He's defending the folks that made the offensive comments, and that's what makes Dave Chappelle look just as bad as the baby and Kevin Hart.
Yes, and that it's almost like he's attacking the LGBTQ plus two-spirited people. QIA, all that. He's attacking them for the Black people who have made homophobic comments.
Right? Yeah, you're sticking up for the folks that made the comments, but I'm like, well, why? Like you're attacking you're attacking a marginalized group anyway to defend someone who made remarks. Like that makes him look worse than Kevin Hart and the baby. That's just how I feel about it. So no, I'm not watching it special.
So the last quote I want to read right here: "Make no mistake, Black, LGBTQ plus, and same gender people exist and have always existed. The fight against oppression is not a zero-sum game, and the pervasiveness of white supremacy in the United States is not an excuse for homophobia or transphobia." So don't be trying to make it about black. Like he tried to
He
bring
did
race
what the
into it
baby
to
did.
excuse, yeah. And that was a quote by the National Black Justice Coalition.
He did what the baby did. He did what the baby
Hmm.
did. Baby said there's people shooting and killing black people, but I can't make a joke or I can't
Right.
make a comment about, like, shut up, the baby.
Yeah.
Keith said he's barely old school. They say he's 48 or 49. He's probably only around 10 years older than most. Don't be trying to age me, Keith. Okay, he's probably around 10 years older than most of us right now. Almost makes it worse in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I yeah, because he's not that much older than
And
us.
I think he said it for the money too. I think the baby's pockets took a little hit. I think he said that for the money too.
Oh yeah, he's been. Oh, endorsement deals have removed him. A clothing
Hmm.
line removed him. A beer, some kind of drinking line removed him. So yeah, he's been removed, and then he's been removed out of like 7 festivals that he
Mm.
was supposed to be a part of this year. They didn't removed him all the way. So,
And the
but yeah, it does make it a little bit worse. And the
and the
baby's
fact that
younger than
he,
us. The
yeah.
baby's younger than us. The baby's in Gen Z. The baby's like 24. Like he's young.
Mhm.
So I guess to Keith's point, it's really not even about age at this point. It's about the lack of trying to understand and empathize with the community that you're not a part of,
Yep.
and being careful about your jokes. Because yes, comedians need to have content. Absolutely, have content, have things you're going to joke about, but be wary of or be cognizant of what you're saying in the joke.
Hmm.
Because like I just gave 2 examples of jokes that you can give trans people. Now, some trans people just gonna be sensitive anyway, but I don't see an issue with saying, "Oh, that trans woman sound like a dude," even though that sounds terrible. But
Hmm.
okay, fine. But when you start attacking in the like, I'm talking about like the deep rooted derogatory way, and then you're defending the baby to support his claim and his
Yeah.
talk about. I mean, it's like, ooh, no, Dave Chappelle,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Yep.
Keith said always a Karen somewhere.
Hmm. Yeah, that is a bit much there. It is crazy how he basically did the same thing the baby did all over.
In comedy. And that's what makes it worse because you did a Netflix special where you got paid a good amount of money to do that special.
Hmm. Hmm.
And and it's kind of like, ooh, I hate to say this word, but you literally glorified the baby.
You did,
You
and
glorified
and
the baby.
and created a situation where it's like the baby's being oppressed, right? Like making it seem like he's being
Oh,
oppressed
poor the
when he just,
baby. Poor-
yeah, poor baby, right? Like instead of, no, he's being held accountable for the things that he said. And it ain't like, let's face it, we know who runs the entertainment industry, who picking the outfits, you know what I'm saying? Who, like he's worked with gay people before, who's shooting your videos, who's your creative process. You know what I'm saying? Somebody gay in there somewhere.
Now, I ain't going to say this is the right thing to do, but I'm going to say this. And I'm going to read Keith's comment in a moment, but I'm going to say this.
Okay.
My thing is this. He could have turned that whole joke around. Now, mind you, I'm not condoning it. But he could have came back on the baby and shaded the baby. Look at what I did. I'm gonna tell you what I did on the show when I talked about the baby. You know what I said about the baby? I said, "Oh yeah, you
Hmm.
worried about gay stuff. What about you? What you doing? So you so concerned?" That would have been a phenomenal joke to say in the
Hmm.
Netflix special. Turn it right
Yeah.
on him. Now, mind you, yes, it is an attack on the baby. I got it.
Hmm.
But the baby went and attacked LGBT people. So you could have
Yeah.
turned this whole thing around and said,
Yeah.
well, the baby, you over here, you too worried about being gay and about gay folks. What are you doing behind closed doors? The baby to explain something to us. That would have made the whole audience laugh. Like, ooh, that's a
Hmm.
good point.
Hmm.
That you could have made something, you could have flipped that whole thing around. But
Hmm.
no, you want to defend the baby and then probably didn't expect to get this backlash.
Right.
Because I'm willing to bet you if he would have attacked the baby a little bit, this wouldn't even be a thing. It wouldn't even be talked. It wouldn't even be a discussion. It wouldn't be on the media. Nothing. It'd be like, oh, it'll just you just have
Hmm.
to see it. And now I'm not saying it's right because you don't want to attack a person, but I'm just saying if you really wanted to play your cards right and avoid attacking an already marginalized community, you could have
Right.
flipped the vote and actually returned it back to the baby. That's
Hmm.
all. But Keith said, I'm never up to date on famous people news. Don't even know what the baby did. Only know of him through a Batman meme. Yeah, I don't know the baby either. I don't even know his rap music. I don't know. Like I said, he's a Gen Zer. He's a baby, so I don't. His name is the baby, and he's a baby. So I don't really.
He is a baby.
I don't follow his music either, so I don't know either. I just know about this news because I'm in the LGBT community, and I'm gonna catch every bit of disrespect and defaming and anything
Yeah.
when it comes to the LGBT community. So that's the reason why I know about it. So
Yep. And I wonder, was Keith on that show when we did about the baby? We did, because that was the same
no,
day we did Wendy Williams, I thought. Or was
I
that a
think he
different
would
day?
have known. He
Oh,
would have known about it. No, he wasn't on that. He didn't watch that.
I think we played the clips and what he was saying and everything. So if you want to check that out, it's on the
It's
book.
on the show. Yeah, it's 2 months ago. It's old, but it's on
Mm-hmm.
here. It's on the platform of the political show.
Yeah, but I do think it is time to be. If you're going to be funny, let it be funny. Like one of the funniest clips I
Let
ever
it be
watched.
free for all and not an attack. I feel
Yeah.
like that's what I said. I think trans people are okay with a joke about them, but when you turn it around and make it seem like you're taking away their dignity, I don't know. It's just I don't know.
Yeah, and then like look at where he went to. Why are you concerned about somebody else's private parts?
In genitalia, like that,
It
like
ain't
that's.
yours.
Oh, I was about to say something. Okay, I'm not even gonna say it. I was about to out my Keith. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. Keith said you guys were doing most of your videos on my virtual class days. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. He missed that. If you scroll down through the recording, you'll see the baby one, and we talk about it. We talk about it on there.
I understand it, but I don't understand it at the same time. Like I don't understand how people been through a struggle, right? Regardless of race. Let's say you've been through a struggle, like you've been through hard times, you've been discriminated against or whatever. I just really, for the life of me, don't understand how people then turn around and do that to somebody else. Like I really just don't get it. Like I see why certain people participate in white supremacy for the furthering of their career or whatever. Like I get it because I understand that some people just will do anything for $1, but I just don't understand for the life of me when sometimes, right, black and brown people and white folks and whoever, when sometimes those people who were once low reach to the top, how do they then perpetuate the same thing that they face coming up the mountain?
And that's what the baby did. And that's what Dave Chappelle reinvigorated.
Right.
Because, honey, I forgot about the baby after a while, and now we're hearing about Dave Chappelle talk about it. Can you stop?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
didn't
you
even know.
reignited.
I didn't even know that he talked about the baby. I have not watched that Netflix special, but it
It just
immediately
came
made
out.
me think of the baby. Yeah.
Well, it just came out, so it just
Mhm.
hit Netflix, so it just new. But
I'm just
and then
saying
my
when I Googled this article, I didn't know that in his special that he talked about the baby, but it made me immediately think about the baby. And then when we read further down, he talked about the baby.
he said, "I don't understand white supremacy. Don't make sense to me. I think it's because people need a reason or place to put their blame on their own miserable life and failures."
Ooh, well, we could break that down for you. I think that's very American, like, and School of Life did a video on it, not white supremacy, but on the idea of like why some people aren't happy, because in our American system, right? We say we're land of the free, home of the brave. We say we're all these things that we're absolutely not. We say everyone has the same opportunities here. Absolutely, they don't. You know what I'm saying? We say we have a constitution, but that constitution still calls Native American savages. That constitution's called people that look like me and Andre 3/5 of a human. So in theory, the
Your
American
accent
experience,
was funny.
in theory, the American experiment, is one where in which we say we have all these things, but we absolutely don't. And I do believe the needle has moved some, but not very much away from race. Like, yes, economic and class is in there, but white supremacy is not white people, even though it is about keeping white people at the top, but there are other races which participated in it as well. Like white supremacy, the evidence of it, the anti-Asian American hate bill, which was passed with money attached to it, was passed because President Donald Trump kept calling it China viruses. Therefore, attacks on Asian Americans went up. That was passed in 1 year. The George Floyd Police Reform Act still has not been passed through Congress, Democrat or Republican. Ahmaud
Nope.
Arbery, who was murdered, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so white
Just run it
supremacy
down the
is,
street, girl.
huh?
Just run it down the street, girl.
Yeah,
Just
like these things, there is no justice for so-called, well, there's no justice for non-whites in America. It's very rare. Like, people were surprised that Derek Chauvin went to jail. He was surprised.
yeah, he was like, me? I thought my whiteness was not gonna have me go to jail. Keith said America hasn't been over the free like ever. There was a point in time, but quickly closed.
And I really think white supremacy is a global thing. Like, just look around the world. Look around the world. Haiti, did you know that Haiti is still poor today because Haiti is paying France reparations for revolting? The slaves in Haiti revolted against the slave masters, and Haiti is still poor today because they're paying France for the freedom which they fought and won. White supremacy, colonialism is a global thing.
It's global.
It's not something that's made up. It's not an excuse for some, it may be. For some, okay, like it's because this and that. No, you made some bad choices. But this I love the fact that like this ties back into what we started talking about, having empathy and compassion for adults. Because look, science has shown now that trauma is passed down from the womb, which would make sense on so that trauma is passed down in the womb, right? So before the baby's even born, before a black baby's even born, or a Native American baby, or a white person's baby, right? Who experienced trauma in the womb before that child is even born, they're born with that traumatic experience already within their DNA. So then when they grow up, there's these other things. So imagine a black child, you got to have that conversation with them about police, about the clothes they wear, so there's all of this. And that is, you know what? I'm not going to bash any religion, but I want to talk about Islam for a second. That's why I couldn't be a Muslim, because what I came to understand about being a Muslim is that if you did 51% good and 49% bad, or if you did 51% bad and 49% good today, then Allah can send you to hell. But guess what? There's Christian extremists who are just like that too, right? Who talk about this stuff about homosexuals, but then they be homosexual on the low. I'm kind of on a rant, and I know there's comments right now, so we can get to those.
You said you already did that. Everyone was surprised he went to jail. He had plenty of examples to show he should have been freed. I think the jurors only said he was guilty due to the pressure from the rest of America.
Well, there's nothing in that video that showed me that was not a murder. And I think the fact that the judge made sure that Derek Chauvin, his criminal record, which to me, if you're a police officer and you have complaints and write-ups, that's a criminal record. That's how I view it. So he had none of his criminal record could be brought up in there at all. They made sure that they did not talk about Derek Chauvin's criminal record, the complaints that he had where he violated citizens' rights, which some of them might have been non-white in there too. But there's nothing in that video that showed me that wasn't a murder. And like, he wouldn't have done that to a dog.
Johnson says, if I may, I feel like for my family, it's like two conversations. My kids are Black. African American and Mexican, and it's hard.
Mm.
And then Keith says he should have never been a cop at that point. He's an HR nightmare of a case alone.
So that is the reason. So there you go. There's your example of white supremacy. Sometimes in the military, I'm like, okay, being white and average gets you everything. It gets you a seat at the table.
Oh, you know
I'm just,
what? Don't
I'm
please
just,
don't get me started.
I'm just keeping it. I'm just keeping it real because I will run circles around most of these people that are my supervisors. Most of these people that outrank me because they have a lack of integrity, a lack of moral compass. They have no character in them whatsoever, and all they care about is getting to the next level. But they're so worried that they're going to get relieved that it's not even funny. So they can't even advocate for anyone but themselves. Like you a whole sergeant major, but you can't advocate for nobody but your damn self. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Why do you have that rank? Keith,
Yeah, how
why
are
would
you
you?
leading? What are
Huh?
you leading? I was like, what are
Nothing.
you leading at that point? Nothing.
So not only is the lack of accountability for Derek Chauvin a HR nightmare, but it's also he's a murderer. And the fact, no, Fred, the fact that he was able to continue. Where can you have 18 complaints on you and
And
continue?
still be a cop. Mhm.
And the fact, another thing too, I think this is the evidence of white supremacy. So when President Joe Biden was talking about um, hate crimes against Asians, he was like, "This is not American." He was like energizing everything. Then he talked about George Floyd. I hope we get, the verdict that we'll see what they come up with, and I hope that. But the George Floyd, so the Democrats pose with kente cloth on, taking a knee, but still ain't passed the George Floyd Police Act, which would help every American citizen, not just blacks. It would help every American citizen. It would. It would do away with qualified immunity, which is stopping police from being held accountable. So there's a lot of things, that I think show that our country was built on white supremacy because Black and brown people have consistently been legislated out of the greatest programs that America has to offer. And instead they're like, here's your food stamps or whatever. We're not going to do anything about your, here's where you get to live. We're not going to make sure that you're educated. We're not going to put money into the school system for you. We're not going to make sure that funds are spread evenly across the city and the states. And then on top of that, you know what? I'm mad at Black folk too, to a degree. Elijah Cummings, where was his successor? Where was John Lewis's successor? John Ossoff, who ain't even from Georgia? You mean to tell me out of all the Black excellence in Atlanta, you got John Ossoff? Because at this point, what we're talking about, like, race matters for the presentation, right? Like, it matters what Dave Chappelle said for the presentation of it, right?
Right.
Considering what's going on, why would John Lewis not have a Black successor? Johnson says, I agree. And if you're a female minority, best of luck.
Keith says, I got put on a detail while I was at Bragg solely because I was white. The only white guy there on the detail was a chill ass detail, so I was cool with it.
So imagine if that was your whole life, though. And imagine you feeling like that. Like, I wonder if you know 100% that you were put on this detail because you were white. Do you know that for 100%? And imagine if you felt it, but you didn't know it. But that's how everything in your life went. Like when you met your commanding officer, like when you met your sergeant major, when everything was like a calculation. And if you speak a little bit articulate, like Andre speaks or I speak, if you speak a little educated, and they're like testing you, is he one of them blacks? Or if you're a Black female, and does she have, she has an attitude because you didn't come in and smile at everybody and say how you doing. Now you getting treated bad. Or they're looking at your hair funny because of the regulation has changed and says you can have this hair now, but everything you do is under this microscope and spectrum. That's what I think the Black experience is like. And I think that is rooted in the white supremacy of the otherism. And maybe we can use bigotry, because bigotry is more universal, less inflammatory, and it doesn't put a color with it. But yet, I like white supremacy because it is the black people participate in it, Asians do, Mexicans do, white people do. People from all races participate in white supremacy because it's the rule of law in America, and it will get you ahead. Banks will go out of their way before they give a loan to any black person. So they'll give it to an immigrant first before they give a black person a loan to open a business. Ask me how I know? Go to the hood. Who owns the stores in the hood?
Keith says the Dems are afraid to flex their majority lead, which, yep, they're pissing me off so much right now. We all know what the Republicans did when they had majority, a freaking shopping spree. The Dems need to take charge and get, he meant get crap done.
But Malcolm X told us, one of the most prolific prophets of, I don't know, recent American history. He told us a Democrat is a Dixiecrat. They're friends. Remember Kamala Harris was fist bumping Lindsey Graham? All these people are friends and they enrich themselves together. Like in the EO course, when we played circles, squares, and triangles, right? That's what it is.
Yeah. He says, oh, I know. The guy in charge told me. I didn't even notice. He was telling me, and the platoon song was like crap, and I just happened to be the first white guy that walked by. Oh, yeah. Someone at work told my husband something along those lines. Oh, my goodness.
Ooh, what? Oh, the same thing about the detail?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like it is a crazy thing. And I think that's why I advocate I'm an advocate for therapy, because just some of the stuff that you go through, you shouldn't. And in a world where crazy is the new normal, or they put things on TV to make it seem like this is how everyone's acting, but you don't act that way, and you have dignity and you have respect and you have empathy, you might feel like you're going crazy. So you probably do need therapy. And if you need a little happy pill, hey, I'm an advocate for that too, because the more I think about it, like, you have to maintain your life and your space and your character and who you are. If you're a generous person, you got to keep giving. You just have to, I would say it'd be wise to be more selective about what you give, how much you give, and who you give to. Are you enabling somebody's behavior not to change? Or are you actually helping people? Are you giving too much of your essence, your energy, your finances, or any other resource? Then probably time to pull that back. Our first ministry is our household, which is really, the bodies that our spirit rests in.
Right. And Johnson said about what type of black he is. Oh,
ooh, see?
I've been, well, I've shared this before about the type of black I am from a white man when I was an E5. So if y'all don't know, I'll just share the story again. But I was the master of ceremony. So that's, in other words, a narrator for a change of command. And, I'm a young sergeant, motivated to be doing a change of command for a lieutenant colonel that's changing out, So I do my thing, and after the change of command, I did my thing, spoke well, did all that right. So tell me why the commander that was leaving, not the commander coming in, the commander that was leaving, he came up to me and said, "Oh my gosh, Sonbrooks, you did so well, narrating." So you could have left it at that, but you know what he said next? So I said, "Thank you, sir." He said, "Yeah, no problem. You really speak well for your kind." For my kind.
Yeah.
I automatically went back to slavery time. I automatically went back to when I was like, for my kind. So you mean to tell me that all black people just out here just speaking, I don't know what kind of speaking. Yes. This man looked at me dead in my face and said, wow, Sonbrooks, you really speak well for your kind. He said as normal as if like, and so you know what I did? I looked at him. I didn't say nothing else, and I turned around and walked away. Didn't say a word. And I threw him off because I guess he was expecting me to be like, oh, thank you, sir. Oh my God, that was so nice. I gave him a blank expression, and then I did an about face, and I walked away. And he was left there stunned And I don't know if he didn't realize what he said or if he did realize what he said and wanted to get a reaction out of me. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Starsha said he said it like that because it is normal for him. Yes, he literally looked at me calmly like, oh my God, wow, Songbirds, you really speak well for your kind. And smiled and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? I speak well for my kind. Huh. All right. Like, what did I just hear? What did I just hear? Like, it really, and I mean, I'm a brand new E5. I've just got promoted to sergeant like maybe 3 months ago before that happened. A brand new sergeant. He's a lieutenant colonel.
Mm.
He's still in the military. I'm not going to say his name.
Mm.
He's still in the military. He's a full bird.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I think the reason why we're having all these conversations and stuff, and I think the positive aspect is the game is kind of changing. Like, it is very much changing. And I think there's a power grab. And the reason why the Democrats can't figure their stuff out is because the system is doing what it was meant to do. I do think it is designed to promote white supremacy and let people in who look like us to then promote white supremacy as well. Because, or you can call it whatever you want, but to be more specific, I think it's designed to make sure that only select brown and blacks. Look at my black over there. Look at my African American over there. You know, it's only designed to let certain people reach the higher levels of riches or wealth or whatever. And those ones have to be people who really don't have a soul. And I feel like they put these people up there to be worshipped and all that, you know, like rappers and Beyonce and Oprah and TD Jakes. Like, they put these people up there to be worshipped, but like not really change anything. Like, the reason why the Democrats can't get it together because Joe Biden should be somewhere living out his golden years. What are you doing trying to run a country? You 80-something years old, hiding all the time. He don't even come out. He can't come out and play. So I mean, like, what are we really?
Biden is 80? 80 yet.
He ain't.
He close. He knocking on it, but he ain't 80 yet.
Well, I'm just saying he should be living out his golden years, not trying to run no country. And the fact that, like, this, to me, the fact that he's still in there is that the Democrats put him up there out of all the diversity they could have. They picked him for a reason and a purpose. And I think that reason and purpose is that old money still holding on. And this is what I was trying to get at earlier with Keith. So in that video that School of Life did, basically, you know, something that I added in my own mind while I was watching it is the fact that majority of the people who have money today inherited that money. So if we came from, let's say we're not a white supremacist nation anymore, let's say it's more bigoted or it's more economic and less about race, I would submit to you that it's still about race because the people who got the money inherited, where did their money come from? From reparations from slave owners, or like when the government handed out farming equipment. You know, did you know that's why most of the farmers are white? Because the government sponsored all of it to ensure that white people would have a top economic class in America. They didn't do that for nobody else. They didn't give nobody else reparations, not like they gave the white man in America. And so when we look at American adults in this country who are having a tough time, even financially speaking, a lot of that is by design. That's all I'm saying.
Starsha, Keith said, I'll take 4 years of Uncle Joe, then another 4 of Trump. And then he made another comment too. They had to put him up there for the dim centrists and Republicans that didn't want to vote for Trump, but will go too far as vote for a woman or non-white.
Exactly. So white supremacy still has a hold on this country. So people will only vote what they think their interests are and on what the person looks like rather than their plans. But at this point, I don't think I have faith in any politician, regardless of. I don't have no expectation that they're going to do anything righteous, because what example do we have?
Well,
Can you name me an
girl,
example of
I ain't got no example because
me
we
either?
already put it too many times before where Democrats are signed up to be weak and Republicans signed up to be ruthless, and they're never gonna have
Yes.
a part. They're never gonna be bipartisan. They're never gonna agree. It's gonna be on purpose that they never agree.
We don't need them to be bipartisan. I think them being bipartisan is the problem. We don't need them to be bipartisan. That means they would agree on stuff. But how they going to agree on stuff when both of them don't agree on us?
Right, but I'm saying they go about it a different way, but there's still no solution. So
Exactly. So that because there's no solution because they're bipartisan. So they say, oh, we had to work together, so we had to make all of these exceptions so we could come to an agreement. But that agreement is never the furtherance of the American people. Have you noticed that? That agreement is always kicking the can down the road, and we're going to be right back here. The pendulum's going to swing, then it's going to swing back, then it's going to swing back. And then at the end of it all, like, what are we offering to our children?
Keith said, I don't have faith in any politician that has over $1 million in their account. Well,
See?
that's every politician has over $1 million.
Yes, and how is Matt Gaetz not in jail?
Honey, Matt Gaetz ain't going nowhere.
Who is Matt Gaetz to be questioning the top generals of the military? And the way he be talking to people, I just don't like it. You don't have to like the military. You don't have to. And it was so funny.
He was going in on Secretary Austin.
Yeah, and it was so funny when the GOP believed that the military was all about white supremacy. Look at how Fox News and all the GOP like responded to the military. As soon as they found out that no, we need our black soldiers, we need our non-white soldiers, what happened? They was like, we don't like the military. General Milley needs to retire. As soon as he said, I want to understand white rage and why people stormed the Capitol, they was like, oh, hell no, we got to find a way. We got to make it seem like he teaching critical race theory. We got to make
It'll
it
be
seem
hard to get rid of. Once you get to that 4-star, it's very hard to get rid of a general like that, especially when he ain't done nothing and all he's doing is just speaking. It's gonna be real hard to get rid of a 4-star general at that. He's literally the chief of staff at Army. That ain't gonna happen.
But we live in a country where Matt Gaetz, where there's proof that. So look at oh my God, it's like R. Kelly, right? Look at that situation and how that went down. But yeah,
And
Matt
Bill
Gaetz
and Bill.
Cosby. But look, Weinstein, he didn't have no public trial. And then look, Matt Gaetz is questioning top military generals, and there is living proof. There's living proof. They got the text messages. They got the Apple Pay receipts.
Oh.
And this man is still questioning. He's still serving as a congressman. Ain't that some stuff?
It is. Keith said they don't have a solid case, most likely. They probably do, but the proof is lacking. Prosecutors only go for easy wins. It's their fault. They need to try at the minimum.
What's crazy though is Lindsey Graham.
Did you see what Keith?
I can't put that up. Yes,
I'm not putting that up. Yeah, please don't.
But look, what's crazy is it's that they do actually have the proof, and it's been leaked. You can find it. They do have the proof. Maybe it hasn't been leaked, but I'm saying they know that he actually did this because the guy who snitched on him was his partner who also did it too, who probably did it so he can get lesser time or not face jail time or whatever. But it's proof. And then he has a lot of creepy pictures.
He knows all about it.
Yeah, remember? He went on Tucker Carlson's show and said he knows all about it. And Tucker Carlson was like, nah.
You put my name in there. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So they have all the proof they need, but this dude is still walking around and he has not been charged. And that is
Did you hear about Don Lemon? Did you hear about Don Lemon?
Yes, I did.
He's being accused of groping someone.
I did hear about that.
Keith said, I'm only saying it because of Cosby and Gates and so forth. Why does he have to pay when everyone else gets off? He's playing devil's advocate with that question. But yeah, I I heard about Don Lemon. I'm like, Don, you groping people?
Uh-huh.
I should say you
I,
definitely
I
need to go to her husband. Yes.
I think it is I think people with money get things in their head and they start to think that they can do whatever they want to do. Like President Trump said, you in the spotlight, you know what I'm saying? You think you could just, I mean, because look at like, and I think that's a prominent thing at news channels. Who was the other guy? Matt something from Good Morning ABC or whatever.
Matt Lauer.
Matt Lauer. Yep. These situations is how it goes down.
She said, no, I hope that's not true. I don't know. What's she talking about?
Don Lemon.
Oh, it's true about Don Lemon, more than likely. I mean, I'm going to say allegedly for, because, there's been no proof, but I think it happened. He said never care for Don Lemon anyway, so I don't know if it could be real or not. Biden did say we have to treat every case seriously. I agree. Don Lemon ain't no excuse for Don Lemon. Just because he gay, don't mean no.
Yeah, that he ain't do nothing.
Then he ain't do nothing. So,
yeah.
But I said not Don Lemon, honey, not Don Lemon.
I think it is. I think it is so funny or ironic that Hollywood got behind the Me Too movement because Hollywood is all like that's what exists in Hollywood, the casting couch and the entertainment industry. When people go to the studios, what they doing in them studios? Who they bringing in them studios? You know what I mean? Like this.
Don't get me started on that.
From models to career.
He never knew Don Lemon was gay. Yes, he's very gay. He has a white husband. Yeah, I mean, I'm not shady, but he's married to a white man. I'm sorry, I said that real shady. But yeah, he's married to a white man. Look, he said Weinstein all over.
Yeah, that is part of the entertainment industry. It's no secret to anyone. The casting couch, and you want this part? What are you going? What you willing to do for it?
I know all these singers and rappers then engaged in some same-sex activities to get their fame. And same with, I feel like women have done it with other women to get their fame too.
Or men. So, and I think that's why, this is just my perception. I think that's why the men tattoo all of their body as if maybe they're trying to get their masculinity back or something. Because like they always play the same role. They always dye their hair blonde. Like how all y'all doing the same thing? From Kanye to Justin Bieber to Chris Brown to like how all y'all. Lil Wayne just said everything out loud. Remember?
Well, when I saw Birdman on the lips, though, I'm like, ugh.
No, he said Birdman and the group of men raped him. He said it all out. He put it all out there.
Well, Birdman kissed him on the lips in public.
He did.
And then Birdman said, well, I kissed him because I look at him as a son. So what's fathers kissing their son on the lips as a grown man? On the lips. Birdman, stop it. And I'm like, I'm mad Braxton is with him. Why, Tony?
Will Smith kissed his son on the lips and he didn't like it. His son did not like it.
Tony Braxton. He said, didn't Bieber say he was molested?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure about Justin Bieber. I'm not sure about him.
But, the Google machine, you can't believe everything you hear on the internet.
I think Justin Bieber likes both. I think Justin Bieber bi, but he's just going to only publicly say he's straight.
I think he was with that pastor.
Oh, they was in the whole shebang thing, I think. Yeah. And I think I think Bieber and Jaden Smith messed around too. Yep, I said it. Him and Jaden Smith and had some secret fun. Because Jaden Smith is very open. He's sexually fluid. So him and Justin didn't got it in. Secretly, but they got it in. I think
Starsha, were
Justin
you
Bieber.
saying
Hmm?
Starsha, were you saying that Justin Bieber and that pastor was together?
He said, "I'm not a fan of kissing kids on lips. No thanks." See, I do only I cheat only with Kaylee, and that's his daughter. That's what I'm saying.
But
Like,
but if it's your culture and like you from, you know, where that's your culture, like it is what it is.
well, yeah,
If
it's
that's
the yes.
but it depends on, you know, and I guess it just depends on the kiss too. Like what kind of kisses we talking, you know?
I don't even know. I
Um,
want to see it. I may throw up when I
uh,
see trying to kiss somebody. Starsha
mhm.
said he was molested by people in the industry. He meaning
Yeah, like
Justin Bieber.
I guess
Justin
I really this is
Is
why huh?
she means Justin Bieber was molested in the industry?
I think so,
Oh
yeah.
no, Justin!
Mm-hmm. Which would make sense on why all of these
He probably got all these 10,000 tattoos, probably.
10,000 tattoos, they all have drug and alcohol issues, right? Like, because and yet everybody want to be like them. I don't. I don't need all that money. I don't want to be like that. Mm-mm.
No, I
I've
think
already.
Justin. Yeah. Oh, she's talking about Justin Bieber. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Justin Bieber's music. I think he
Mhm.
could sing. He has a good voice. I'm not no fan, but I mean, I do like his music. But that's really sad, though.
Mhm.
Sasha said that's why he has so many mental breakdowns. Yeah, and I think, and then the whole Selena Gomez thing and all that, and you don't know how
Mhm.
much is true or not true. I think Justin told Selena a lot. I think Selena got so much tea on Justin,
Mm.
so much tea, so
Mhm.
much. I think Selena know it all. I think she know way more than the Haley Bieber. Haley
Mhm.
Baldwin don't know nearly as much as Selena. I know he married to Selena. I mean, married to Haley, but Selena got all the. I think Selena Gomez got all the tea. But bless his heart. Bless his heart. Keith said he's looking like that uncle you don't invite to the family gatherings.
That's so true.
Dustin looks a mess now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know why people get all them tattoos and cover everything. You know who else is looking a terrible mess too? Not that he ever looked attractive, but Machine Gun Kelly. Like, what are you doing? And you tattooing your neck, and what are these people do? What are you doing?
And they're attractive men, but you just messed yourself up doing
Well, he
all
needed
this.
a few sandwiches though. I
Well,
would say
yeah,
Machine Gun Kelly needs a few
I'm not
sandwiches.
talking about.
But he is
I'm
a.
not talking
I think he's attractive. I just think he probably need to
about
eat a little
here.
bit.
He's
Yes.
cute here,
Yes.
but he's got all these tattoos that mess me up.
Yeah.
hmm
Hmm.
And
But it would
Justin
make
Bieber,
sense.
but he's got tattoo. It's like he filled up, and then the thighs, and then I'm like, God, Lee, it's everywhere. His
Hmm.
whole stomach is tattooed. Justin
He
Bieber.
ain't got. They don't got. They probably get tattoos because they ain't got nothing else to do either. I mean, what you doing? They ain't got nothing to do.
Listen, I think Justin Bieber bye. I may be wrong. Sorry, Justin Bieber, if you see this. I'm just saying, I think you bye.
Now I got a hashtag Justin Bieber. Bye. I'm kidding.
No, don't do that. Let's not do it. No.
I'm just saying hashtag Justin Bieber.
Oh,
I do all the
hashtag Justin.
hashtag. I do it on hashtags so we can. I can remember it later. Yeah, I think that is a requirement to be in the industry, and I think that's why. I don't know. I don't know if we as humans should have everything we want.
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah.
Like if we have everything we want, then like what do we work towards? I'm not so even my thoughts on economic stimulus and stuff. I'm not saying everybody needs to be a millionaire, but hey, nobody should be working 40 hours a week. Nobody should be working any job. I don't give a damn if it's flipping burgers because guess what? And when you go look at the occupation handbook and you look at the salaries that people make, usually none of those are based on the specific job. It's based on the job in the industry. So if it's $1 million industry and you're doing that job in that industry, this is your salary. So if McDonald's is $1 billion industry, right? Yes, there are franchises, but it's $1 billion industry. Then that person working 40 hours a week should make a living wage to live in the zip code in which they work. I'm running for, and I endorse this message.
So you're just not gonna say what you're running for. You're just gonna say I'm
I
running
don't.
for.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm running for. I might run for something.
Well, tell me offline what you think about what you're running for, because it seems like you're not
Maybe,
gonna.
maybe like mayor, maybe mayor
Come
of
on, Hawaii
Honolulu.
man.
Yeah, mayor of Honolulu. I don't know, but I just,
That would be
I
dope. That would be dope if you became mayor of Honolulu. Like
I
dope, dope.
might. I know. I googled everything, and I talked to people, so I already got the whole plan on. She said, I
Listen,
know I've been
Jonathan said,
wondering.
I also wonder what he running for. And like he been just covering it up. Like, what you running for? He said that's the problem. These people can't be millionaires or billionaires if they pay a livable wage to their employees.
Right, but being a millionaire or billionaire, like I think they could be millionaires if they paid a livable wage.
Well, I mean, I think being a millionaire, I feel like it's not even the issue. I think the billionaire part is like, girl, what are you?
Yeah, yeah.
A billionaire for real? A billionaire? Mm-mm. And I think Jeff Bezos became a trillionaire last year. The
Dang.
Amazon. Hmm.
Is he?
I think last year he
Uh,
became a trillionaire. Yes, look it up. It's
mm,
somewhere. And apparently, over the last couple of weeks, if y'all read it, Elon Musk now has surpassed Jeff Bezos with being a billionaire. He makes more than him now. For Tesla, Elon Musk.
mm-hmm.
And here I am. Oh, I guess I'll go ahead and tell y'all. Next year, I'm buying a Tesla.
You sure?
So I can't talk about Elon Musk, but yes, next year I am trading in my car and I'm buying a Tesla. I'm sold on
Don't
it.
do it.
I want
Don't do
one.
it. Get you if you're gonna get a Mercedes, get a Genesis, not no Tesla.
No,
Research a
no.
little more. I don't think they're made up to par. Nah.
I've done my research. They're saving on the pollution and they're strictly, yeah. I'm sold on it.
Go for a hybrid at least. Go for hybrid
Like
at
get a
least.
hybrid car. Just get a hybrid car. But it still needs gas.
Right. But you can
Well,
get at
Lexus is
least
coming out with a hybrid. Lexus is coming out with an electric car. I may get a because I'm in Lexus now, so I heard they're
mhm.
coming out with like Keith said I want a Tesla or some fully electric. I do. That's what I want, Keith. Yes, Keith. That's what I want. I want a Tesla or some fully electric car. Oh, John said I want a Volvo. I used to own one of Volvo. Volvos are
Those
cute.
Volvos are hot.
Volvos are good. They're expensive now, a little
They're
high.
expensive.
They have, but they worth it. They're worth their price, but they're good cars. I had a S60, the midsize. But if you want a full size, get the S90. But now they
S60.
made XC60s for the SUV. If you want an XC60, that's the SUV.
Mm-hmm.
I had an S60 back in the day. It was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Volvos are good. They're very reliable, very good cars. So I would recommend it if that's what you want. I'm not going. Yeah, I like my Volvo.
I
Yeah.
drove huh?
I was saying I would have still kept my Volvo if it was all-wheel drive, but I traded in my car for a Lexus because my car wasn't all-wheel. And
Mm-hmm.
then a year after I had my Lexus, Volvo started making all-wheel drive. I'm like,
Mm.
Starsha said I want an XC90. Now that's the big body of Volvo, Starsha.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But not the Note. I can't. I know that Note. I love the XC90 that's the top of the line, biggest Volvo. But
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to keep my Genesis G70 as a 2019. I'm
it's
trying to
sexy.
keep it for 8 more years.
Oh Jesus, not 8 more years, no.
I'm trying to keep it for 8 more years. I mean, like at a certain point, technology ain't really doing too much. I
You
think phones.
paid it off though, so you got that luxury. You paid off your car, so I'm over here buying cars and ain't paying nothing off. So I need to
Yeah, because
get my
I need to buy a house before I buy another. I feel like I need to buy a house before I buy another car, and then
That's what I'm doing. I'm buying this house this year, and then I'm buying a car next year.
Get you that tax credit.
I'm telling you.
But I feel like cars are not. I mean, they ain't doing nothing new. So
No,
my
none of the
car.
lines are really doing anything renovating or anything like wow. But I don't know. Tesla is growing on me. I haven't test drove one yet, but I've been inside the one I want. I want to look up. Y'all, I want y'all to look up the Model Y
Oh, I
Tesla.
know
That's
that
the
one.
one.
That's like the little SUV one.
Yes, that's the one I want, and I
Mm-hmm.
want a white one. I want a white one with black interior.
Mm-hmm.
Keith says he's got a point. What else can they put in a car? As long as something has Apple CarPlay support, I'll be good for like 10 years. Yes, and my Lexus has Apple CarPlay, like so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't complain. My Lexus is
Mm-hmm.
everything. I love my car.
My Genesis got both.
Okay, then.
Because I don't have an iPhone. Well, I mean my work iPhone, but I don't use it. So I'm team Samsung all the way. Samsung makes Apple screens. That's why they look so good.
Okay.
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 But yeah, like
Alright.
so I mean my car has every feature. Like it has autopilot to a degree. Not Tesla level autopilot, but it's good enough.
Yeah. I mean, I have a ES350 Lexus, and I mean, I have the lane departure. I mean, I got all kind of stuff. I got it to where it'll the cruise control, it'll slow down, like it'll.
Mm-hmm.
She put a thumbs down. Why she put a thumbs down?
On Samsung.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's what she doing. Cause yeah, she got an iPhone like me.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm not. Yeah. Brandon ain't ever moving over to Apple, so it's not happening.
No,
He does like his MacBook, but he ain't getting no iPhone.
that's
So.
true. I do have
But he
I'm
does
on a
have
MacBook
Apple
right now.
products. Yeah, he has Apple products, just not an iPhone. I
Well,
mean,
because the MacBooks last forever. Huh?
but I'm Apple everything though, so
Mm.
I'm loyal to my Apple products.
Starsha, have you tried out the cinematography photo thing? That's probably like the only reason why I would buy an iPhone.
Yeah. Oh, Keith says she just got herself the 13 Pro Max the other day. Come on, 13 Pro Max.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not getting a new iPhone. I have the 11 Pro Max, and it's good. I'm not getting the 13. No. I mean, maybe next year I may get another phone, but I'm no, I'm good. My 11 Pro Max.
I'm probably gonna get the S22 Ultra, if the one that's gonna have the S Pen. I got the S21 Ultra only because they didn't want to send me a new Note 20 Ultra. They're like, here's the money, here's some money, we'll cash you out. So then I bought the S21 Ultra with that. So yeah.
Oh, Starsha and Keith are going in on these comments.
Uh-huh.
No one likes green bubbles on their phone. I don't either, but I have to deal with that with Brandon. So Starsha said it's heavy. Though. Y'all phones be heavy. iPhone ain't heavy. Y'all Androids be heavy.
No, she talking about her iPhone 13 is heavy.
It's probably her first time with a Pro Max. That's why you have to get used to it. It's probably her first time with the big version of that.
I don't like the edges of the iPhone. How it's flat. I don't like that. The edge around it.
Oh, you don't like it rounded.
No,
You want it.
yeah, I like it round. I like it rounded. It feels better in your hand when it's rounded. But yeah, can your iPhone do this though? Boop.
Nobody care about that.
This is the new folding one.
I'm jealous. I love the fact that it can fold like that. I love that.
It's like a tablet.
Oh,
It's a tablet phone.
Arsha girl. She had the 6S Plus. She skipped from the 6S to the 13. Girl, it was
Dang.
definitely time for her to get a new phone. The 6S Plus to the 13 Pro Max? Oh, yeah, you definitely needed a new phone. Girl, I'm so happy that you got a new phone. So happy. Oh, my goodness.
Starsha said, I don't want a book phone.
Right.
Well, that's why I have but this phone, you can't take it to the beach and stuff because if some sand get in there or something. So that's why I have the other phone too, just in case I'm going to the beach, which I will be doing a lot.
Got all the gadgets, okay? Keith said, "Man, I had an iPhone 6 Plus, not even an S. Lord, I can't. I cannot. Y'all had old phones. I'm surprised Starsha was able to get phone calls for me.
Did your phone slow down? Because you know how iPhone sent out, they slow down their phones. Like y'all's are still good.
Dude, did Keith get a new phone? Because Starsha said she got the 13 Pro Max, but she said, don't do me like that. Keith has the 6 Plus. Keith, it's time for Keith to get a new phone then too. Sweetness. What's going on? Oh my gosh. I haven't been able to update my apps in almost 6 years.
But
Keith, it's time to get a new phone, sweetie.
there is one thing. There is one reason to upgrade. And you know what that is?
What?
Security.
Yeah, because now you liable to get hacked way quicker with an older phone. Yeah, Keith, it's time to get a 13 or a something.
3 full iOS versions behind now.
I'm 3 iOS's behind. Oh, it's on the way. Mine came first. Oh, okay. So Keith's phone is on the way. Starsha's came first. Got it. Okay,
What
so
color
y'all
did you
both.
get?
Yeah, what colors did y'all get? So I can see what color I may get next year when I get the phone, because I'm not buying new phone this year. I mean, I'm eligible. They blowing my I keep getting notifications from Apple saying, from AT&T saying you're eligible for an early upgrade. Come get the new iPhone. It's like, oh. Keith said the darkest one. Oh, okay. So like the charcoal gray or something. I don't even know the colors. I don't even know the colors for the
Plain
iPhone.
gray.
There's a baby blue one too. That's cute. That I was thinking about getting if I get the new phone.
They did do like Easter colors, huh?
They did Easter colors, honey. Yes, Easter. They did some pink and blue, and I haven't looked. I have to look online. I haven't even. That's how I'm not really invested in getting the phone, because I haven't even looked at the colors. So
You know what I'm mad about? I'm mad that iPhone still has a notch in 2021. What's that little thing up there? I don't like that.
what?
At the top of the screen,
Oh,
the
the
little yeah. What?
I think that's a speaker. Oh no, that's where you can hear the people talking. I think that's a. You hear the phone to your ear. I think that's a speaker.
No, it don't have to be black like that. They can use a punch hole like everybody else.
Oh, Starsha said I wanted blue, but I thought Keith was getting it. Keith said I almost got it, but turns out Starsha wanted it, so I messed up with ordering it for her. I can hear Keith saying it in his voice. That's what's so funny about
you
Keith
can't send it back.
Now.
I'm just kidding.
No, Starsha already got her phone.
She already got it now, so
it's fine. I mean, he want to have a different color phone. Well, I mean, it's important so you can know whose phone is who, depending on the phone case you get.
Oh, unless you don't do a phone case and you do like a skin, like this is a D brand skin. Like, so sometimes I don't like to use a case on my phone. So I'm like, I'll just it gives it a little bit of grip. So, Starsha said the wait is too long, like to send it back.
Oh, the wait is too long. Okay. And he said, no, shipments are pushed back over a month. Oh, God, that long? So I guess you can't just go in the store and get a 13 Pro Max. You got to order
online.
See, I think that's the reason why I wait. So, like, being that it's high demand right now, I'm not ordering one online and then getting shit sent. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing my own phone. I'm having the people that work at AT&T square me away with transferring my phone stuff over, and I'm not doing all that stuff.
Really?
He said,
really?
"Yeah, I don't do my."
Isn't that easy now, though? I mean, if it's on the cloud, you just.
I'm like, I ain't doing it. He said,
no,
"No, I'm talking about the phone too much. She needs drop protection." Starch, you can be dropping your phone, girl, all the time. I don't play them games with my phone.
Me either, really.
No, I'm pretty disciplined on my phone. I've never broken any glass on my phone.
I had before in the park.
Listen, I can't wait. I'm losing app support by the week. See?
Yeah, because I think most phones now, and I think iPhone's probably gonna start doing it now, but they only gonna give you like 3 years of security updates. That's why they
Hmm.
forcing people to upgrade their phones now.
Dang. Sasha said it's super easy. Just have your phone close to each other and it transfers. Oh, I can't even browse the internet on. Okay, Keith. Keith. OMG. I shattered my screen multiple times. She didn't say like broke the glass. She said she shattered it, honey.
Shattered it.
My Lord.
These phones cost too much money to be dropping for me. I'm
And
like, it's,
shattering.
but I think getting the screen fix is usually like $100 on the iPhone, ain't it?
Yeah, but that's just
But that's still $100.
still
A hundred
$100
off.
that I could have bought some shoes with that. Honey. But we've been on
Oh,
live for a long time,
we have.
so
I'm getting sleepy.
we can go. We can end this. He said I lose 10% battery waiting for a page to load a Safari. I could not with Keith. Oh my gosh, I cannot.
Somebody needs a sponsor. Sponsor y'all some iPhones. We got to go
Listen,
fund me to get Keith and
gift.
Sasha new iPhones
They need to get it as a gift. They don't even need to pay nothing for it. Just a gift. Here it is. Just get your stuff transferred.
for the
Oh my god.
dedication.
Oh, for the keeping a phone.
Mhm.
Oh.
That's funny. Well, I don't even know how to wrap it up.
Well, I guess I can wrap it up. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening in. We've been on for 3 hours, so we appreciate the folks that watched us for the whole 3 hours. Starsha said his will be here tomorrow. Thank God. That's good. But we thank you for tuning in. Um, please like, comment, and if you'd like to share, please do. We appreciate it. We love the support that we've been getting. I know we took a 2 month hiatus, but we appreciate you coming and still joining us and joining in on the conversation because
Mhm.
Keith said I was waiting for Apple to come out with USB-C on their phones. I had to give
See?
up the bullet this year. I know. See, Brandon's gonna show it because his little Samsung got it. But yeah, Samsung, I ain't gonna lie, Samsung is a good rival against Apple. They got stuff that Apple don't got and vice versa. But anywho, but yeah, we would like to thank you. We appreciate you. We
Thank
love
you.
y'all. And we don't know when we'll be back again, but we'll make sure to let y'all know when we come back again. We are gonna go back to doing topics and stuff like that, but
Mhm.
we just want to do this pop up because it's been 2 months since we've seen y'all. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
we're happy that we were able to get back on, and all that good stuff. And Brandon and I will figure out a way to be on live even when he's in Hawaii, which is a 6 hour time difference. We'll figure it out. We'll work it
Mhm.
out, and you'll see us. You'll still see us. So
Yes.
that's all I got. Just stay encouraged,
Yep.
stay uplifted during this time that we're in. Not 2021, going into 2022. So
Let us know if you
yeah.
want to come on the show, or if there's somebody we should bring on the show, or if there's any topics that we should discuss. Was it Keith who gave us the topic last time? Who was
Adam.
that?
Adam gave the
Adam.
topic.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Adam gave us the topic last time. Yeah, if somebody wants to, give us a topic to discuss for one of those shows, that'd be amazing. And we're gonna keep it moving, and we will come back. When we coming back, Andre? I don't know.
What's today?
Every
Thursday. So what? I mean, you gonna be booed up this weekend? What you gonna be doing? If you are, then just next Thursday, then we can just get back on.
yeah, yes, yeah, because I ain't gonna be right down the street in a couple months or in a
Yeah, that's
couple
what
of weeks.
I'm
Not even
saying.
months. Like, do you know that I literally did my pickup for like what's today?
The 7th.
I asked him to pick up my stuff on the 20th. And then ship my car on the 25th or 23rd, 25th. I have never had PCS this fast in my life. So, yeah.
That's what happens when you got a November 10th report date. So,
hey, hallelujah. I ain't mad. I'm going to get it done.
Yeah.
I got nothing but time to get it done. Keith said, better get packing.
Get packing.
I just need to go through and donate what I don't need anymore. That's what I need to do.
Oh, I need to do what you're doing because there's so many clothes and so many shoes that I don't wear no more. I need to just donate.
That's what I'm going to do.
I'm not guessing with this stuff. There's a bunch of clothes I'm not.
Yeah, if you don't wear it, donate it, especially if it's in good condition. That's
I'm cleaning house. I'm gonna have a whole new wardrobe when I get to Maryland. A whole new. The clothes I don't even wear nearly half the clothes I have in my closet. I don't. So.
Yeah,
But
you need to check out Boohoo Man. This shirt is Boohoo. I think all my shirts are Boohoo Man now. This is Boohoo Man.
I'm gonna check it out. That's a shirt. Listen, Keith is your typical. Okay, I ain't gonna shade you, Keith. I'm not gonna do you like that. I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm not gonna say nothing. But yes. But yeah, we thank you for watching. We'll be back next Thursday. So I guess we do have a date. So next Thursday at this time, we'll be back for a pop-up.
Yes. Thank you all for watching. See y'all on the next show. Holla. Oh, one more comment. Oh, okay, we're good.
The Starsha said, please do. And then Keith said, oh, it's good. I am the typical guy. And I guess Keith was ready to say, but I'm not gonna do it like that, Keith. I like Keith. I'm not gonna do it like that.
Good night, y'all.